You wouldn't forget. It's cold on the mountain tonight. Yes, it's cold on the mountain tonight. And we need someone to save us. We need someone who's ready for a fight. Onward through the blizzard they do ride. Onward through the blizzard they do ride. With bread and butter and faithful hounds beside. The faithful folks of 10 towns they defend, and the rotten folks of 10 towns they offend. With flaming sword and staff and dart they'll pierce the veil, strike at the heart of the rill. My forces, they do not know they are heard. My forces, they do not know they are watched. All the lonesome cry of forgotten beasts will save us all or be a feast for winter. Okay. Yeah, that's a good starting place. Rough draft, Everybody's a Mimic theme song, Rime of the Frostmaiden. Take one. You wouldn't forget. It's cold on the mountain tonight. Yes, it's cold on the mountain tonight. And we need someone to save us. We need someone who's ready for a fight.
One. We are live. Howdy, everybody. We are Everybody's Mimic, an actual play 5th edition D&D podcast playing Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden. Welcome to our session 19. We are very excited. I don't think that's right. We are very excited for you to be
no, that's true. We are excited.
We are excited.
We are very excited.
Session number that may or may not be 19.
May or may not be 19. I know we're in that area. Anyways, I thought I came prepared, but I was not. Anyway, my name is Corey. I'm your DM. We're very excited to have you here listening as we continue our way through the Sky Tower and Wormdoon Crag Goliath struggle. I'm joined by our players. We have 3 out of the 4 with us today. First off, Bitte, played by Carson, is not going to be joining us. He's on his way out to California on a drive from Texas, so it'll be quite a drive for him.
It'll be oof.
It'll be oof.
It'll be oofs, yeah. So we are joined by Blake.
That's me. I play everybody's favorite whatever, Del Nadre Mirakas.
Why whatever? You don't know that you're
because I'm whatever you need, baby.
Oh, okay. Very nice. Very nice. Also, we are joined by Ray, who plays
I play Rosemary Bonecrusher, everybody's favorite orc sometimes, and dwarf ghost other times.
Yeah. I don't know. Lately, you have not been the favorite. You've been very well. That's not true. You were favored.
I was like mostly Bree in the Black Cabin.
Yeah. You were the favored goat over in Wormdoom Crag.
Oh yeah, I was a goat.
Yeah.
So everybody's favorite goat and or ape and or whatever I'm wild shaped and or possessed as in the moment.
Oh no, is Rosemary the goat?
Rosemary's been the goat the whole time.
Rosemary's been the goat. There are no other goats besides Rosemary. And finally, you heard him there. We are joined by Ben, who plays.
I play Levi, your goodest boy and the man who is living on borrowed time.
Yes. Technically, also the you account for two of our players right now. There's a little baby player inside you right now.
Oh, Levi's role playing for 2.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Baby on board.
Yeah.
I could make a very off-color joke based on recent political happenings.
Yeah.
Are we
Yep.
legally allowed to get rid of the baby now?
Well, it's still up to
I don't
states'
think
rights, so we have to check what Icewind Dale, how they vote.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
it's up to the 10 towns now.
Icewind
I
Dale
don't
is
know,
a
and,
lot on
I mean-
personal liberties. Yeah, but we have seen a lot of like leaders who have been telling you guys, my way is the way we should live. I mean, a number of the towns here have come across with you guys as you're just trying to do good, right?
I mean, Levi, yes, but I don't know about Don Andre. I'm not going to make assumptions.
Ooh, shots fired.
Hey, I'm all about personal liberties.
I agree. I'm just worried that the gestation period is getting a little late here.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? So it could trigger some people.
The doctors may just think that they need to get rid of it because it's gone on for too long.
It's
Yeah,
like,
I think it's like
it's a threat to the
endangering the life
carrier.
of the mother.
Exactly. Yeah.
Levi, have you considered adoption, though?
Yeah. Would you in this scenario?
No, probably not.
Me neither.
Who's going to adopt the baby is the question.
Maybe
A lot of dead
Therefore-
bodies.
the
A lot of dead
Celestials.
bodies.
Everybody wants to talk about adoption, but nobody wants to adopt the baby monstrosity.
No, they're
Exactly.
not there. I don't know very many.
Well,
people.
they always say it takes a village, which is about the daily nutritional requirements for a baby slod.
Yep.
That's a good one. That was really good. All right. On that note, let us get back to our session. Last session, we started off with the party camping out on the pathway into Sky Tower shelter. They got in at the early dawn. Arn had already left. He somehow took another exit out of this shelter to go off and investigate their borders with a couple of Goliath warriors and left the party behind to convince the people, as Bitte's friend Gammon had. Gammon? Wait, is this going straight on Gammon? Or is it Gammon here?
I'm gonna say
Gammon.
Gammon sound Gaymon.
Gammon.
That
Just
sounds
it has a
Yo.
special ring to it.
Gammon. Okay.
No, but
I mean,
I think
Yeah.
I think Gammon is what we decided on. I'm not 100% sure though.
Let's go with Gammon. 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 G-Man.
The G-Man.
The G-Man had informed the party that Arn left, and it was up to the party to convince the clan, the Akhenathi clan, that they should make peace with Thunkalaga clan of Wormtoon Crag, or Arn is just going to go to war with them. I believe at this point they're at each other's necks, and Arn is needing to show some sort of sign of strength before he loses his perch as chieftain of Akhenathi, especially considering he does not have any heirs to pass down. There would be not a very easy transition of power should he lose his spot as chieftain of the Sky Tower Goliaths. After winning a couple of strength competitions and witnessing the horror and unfair distribution of nutrients and resources within the clan, within the Sky Tower clan, with those who are the weakest getting the least, those who are the strongest getting the most. The party went at odds with the Goliaths. Some words were thrown around, some fists clenched, and show signs of passive aggressiveness were off the charts. Levi eventually stormed off, having a brief conversation with Daniel, the Goliath. Before the rest of the party,
Daniel.
Daniel, damn Daniel. Before the rest of the party joined him outside the entrance to Arn's hold, where his husband Harad and his granny Kanayaka sit waiting the party. And so we begin. Daniel and the other unnamed Goliath stand in front of you. Daniel, his eyes seem a little bit less tense, and can y'all hear the dogs barking in the background?
Yes.
A little bit.
They're having a good time.
He's going at it. It's gonna keep going, I guess. So the Goliaths just sit there staring at you all. Daniel has a little bit less tense eyes, a bit more open to what he hopes that the players will be able to do for the Sky Tower shelter, but nonetheless, they stand in your way. Delnadre, Rosemary, you were in front. Levi, Bitte, you were in the back.
Didn't the grandmother want to see us? Is that a thing?
No, the Goliaths in the feasting hold had mentioned that you should probably speak to Kanayaka, as she has a lot of sway over convincing Arn to sit down with Ogilai. Ultimately, what you're trying to do here is just to convince Arn to even sit down with Ogilai, not even to just give up the feud.
Yeah. All right. Just over the table, does that want to be our first action, first direction, or does anyone else have something else that they want to do first?
Let's do it. Let's go talk to the old biddy.
Just to say, there is pretty much nothing else you can do at this time. It is about midday. There is no other part of the of the Sky Tower shelter you have not been to, except for what is beyond you here. So you haven't, just to say, you haven't missed anything. You went through, you saw the other rune stone. So this is the logical course of action.
Okay. All right, let's go see Kanayaka.
Yep. The Goliaths kind of
Yeah, I
stare
think
at
that's our
you
best bet.
They just stare at us.
as you say, "Let's go see Kanayaka," and they kind of just look at you and say,
May we see Kanayaka?
"What's the passcode?"
I would like to speak to Kanayaka.
That's a question, not a passcode.
I don't know, sometimes a passcode can be a question.
Not when it's the passcode and not a passphrase.
Oh, see, there's a difference.
I didn't
Is
go
it-
to bodyguarding school to not know the difference between passcodes and passphrases.
Is it Griffin? Is it Griffin's?
Is it passcode?
Is it
Come on now. This is
Sky
what-
Tower's
this is what-
awesome?
This is what 2 years of the Bind of the World bodyguarding school gets me. Bunch of clowns come to test me. This is not
Yes,
this is
but-
not Danielle talking, by the way. This is the other unnamed Goliath.
Yeah, I think
You know
Levi
what?
would just put hands on hips and he looks at Daniel and he says, "Are you going to block our path, or in the name of assisting the Sky Tower Goliaths, will you let us through to speak with Kanayaka?"
Kind of just looks at you and he's like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to humor him a little bit on this. He does technically outrank me." The other Goliath kind of looks at Daniel and is like, "Shut up! Don't talk to them. They haven't answered the passcode yet."
How would one go about
Even-
getting the passcode?
Well, sometimes you can mail in your request. Might take a couple of business months to respond.
Business months.
Business months, yeah. Things don't move very quickly here at Snail Mail. Or Granny Kanaika can give you the passcode.
So in order to speak to Granny Kanaika, we need the passcode from Granny Kanaika.
Yes. So if you'd come prepared, you would have submitted your request via the proper channels ahead of time.
There's someone else I can speak to? Where's your manager?
It's not even that hard of a passcode. You've only
Is
guessed.
it a phrase? Is it a word? Is it a number?
It's a word, as all typical passcodes are.
Okay.
See, a code is like a number, and that would be a password.
He goes into his pack and he pulls out this like pretty raggedy looking hardbound book that says Bodyguarding 101, how not to let anybody pass your door. And he kind of flips to the section where it describes passcodes. Okay. And it has the description of passcode. A word used to often prevent those who are not eligible from entering a room from entering the room through a simple test. Underneath it says examples. Common passcodes are good passcodes that have something to do with your organization.
Out of character, not to try and like undermine your DMing technique, and the differences between our realm and the Forgotten Realms. But I will say that I just Googled a passcode, and I'm actually getting that it's a Japanese metal idol group that was founded in 2013.
I gotta go listen to them. They sound like just my genre.
The musical style of passcode can best be described as kawaii metal.
What?
Is it like
Some vocalists use harsh vocals next to cleans.
I love that
Yuna
both of us thought
Imata
of baby metal
contributed
at the
the harsh
exact same
vocals
moment.
before her retirement, with the job now handled by former Lady Baby member Emily Arima Kaida. Takashi. Oh no, wait, there's a period in there. That's Emily Arima, I guess.
Baby.
Yeah, apparently Lady Baby is another Japanese kawaii metal musical group. Anyhow, that's all beside the point. Is the passcode enter?
It is not.
Is the passcode strength?
Kind of bites his knuckle. Fuck. It is. It is. Yes. It is that. It is. Damn it.
Thank you for this game. I'll be moving on now. And Levi just starts moving towards heading past them.
Goodness gracious. Get out. Get it through there. Please proceed. And as you pass them, you find that your way is blocked by a beautifully knitted curtain. Like that like that thick
right
grandma's knitting. Yeah, right there. It's like that thick grandma's knitting, like a nice knitted quilt. A giant doily.
Levi is going to walk up to it, and he sort of like knocks on the wall right here.
Strength.
He says, "Hello, my name is Levi, and I request an audience."
Come in. Come on in.
And he's going to just look back and nod at the group. And then, is it like a side curtain that opens from the side, or is it split down the middle?
It's split down the middle, and right as you beginning to walk in from, I'm just going to take a quick segue here. So as you guys are beginning
to walk
in,
he's a gentleman, so he would open the curtain and he'd let the other two members pass first.
Okay, well, before you get to that point,
okay,
as Bitte is beginning to walk behind you guys and just kind of follow with the group, saying strength as he passes, Gammon walks up behind Bitte and he's just like, hey, Bitte, I need your help. I think I can help your cause here, and I think we can, I want to show you where that hunter disappeared. I know that that seemed to be a point of contention with Arn, and I trust that you believe that Thunkalanka clan had nothing to do with that. There have been. I know where it is. We can take a couple of quick, easy shortcuts to get through there, and if it's just you and I, we can make it there and back before Arn even comes back from his scouting trip, and perhaps even before nightfall. And he kind of just, and Bitte kind of thinks on it for a moment. Now, as the party here, does that sound like an okay idea for Bitte to go off and scout? Because he is a Thunkalanka Goliath, right?
Yeah, let the ranger range. That's fine.
Right. Okay. So Bitte and Gaman, along with a griffin, are gonna go out through the gates.
Oh, cool.
Before he leaves, Rosemary's gonna be like, Bitte, be safe, don't die. If that giant Yeti shows up, just make sure you're okay.
Yeah. And he is gonna disappear out off down the path, and they're gonna go out and look for that hunter that was disappearing. As that believes that's a good little segue for Bitte. That way he will have some time in the next session before we begin for his own character, and we get to tug on that little string. So you pass on through. Can you walk through the wall there? You place yourself on the other side of that wall.
This wall?
Yeah, straight ahead.
Let's see. Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
wonderful.
hello.
You can do that.
There's a big cat.
So yes. So as you proceed in, there stands before you. This cave is 12 foot high, with a nice crackling fire in the center, and the walls are lined with more knitted quilts. In fact, the whole inside of this cave, the only places that you see bare stone are where there are hunting trophies or the weapons of defeated foes, kind of adorned the walls. Besides that, everything in this room is knitted. There's even a rug. It is very warm and toasty in this room. And sitting right in the fire is a wizened Goliath with long white hair. Across
Sitting
her
in the fire?
sitting right in front of the fire.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, like, that's badass.
Great. A Yeti fur cloak is draped over her stooped shoulders, and a tiger-sized feline with white fur crouches beside her. She looks with her eyes closed, just staring into the fire, but the large crag cat, kind of has this this meowing, purring growl that just shows that you're friendly for now, but test him and you shall see the claws. What you get from that little purr growl.
Rosemary really wants to pet him.
Kanayaka, who sits there at the fire, kind of stares up at you all, eyes closed, and just, welcome. I see. You must be the newcomers that we've heard so much about. Come, sit. Arad is about to bring us some tea. It's tea time.
Take a seat across from the cat.
Seat next to the cat.
All right. So, in this tunnel, just to describe a little bit, there are more quilted little covers that block 3 more of the passageways out of this cavern. And then to the north, there is another one of those rune stones that you had meditated before. This one, even on a brief glance, you can see that there are slightly different carvings, perhaps a different story being told on this runestone, and perhaps even a different benefit to be gained.
Remind me what the previous one did.
The previous runestone that you had already picked was the Shrine of Strength and Honor. So it's going to give, and I believe, Rosemary, you sat next to that runestone for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it gives you a runestone die. So for the next 24 hours, whenever Rosemary makes a strength check or a weapon attack roll, she can wait till after it rolls a d20, but before I have said it succeeds or not, to add an extra d6. So it's essentially a guidance, an extra guidance.
But I sat next to that at the other orc camp, and so that was more than 24 hours ago.
I think it was
No,
here,
it
right?
It was here.
Was it here?
It was here.
Oh, okay.
It was last session.
Okay. For some reason, I'm mixing up what happened at the last orc camp with what is happening here. Or
Well, there's
not orc, but
yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
what
there was like that.
Go-
There was like that little slide that went off the feasting chamber.
Yes, the
Yeah.
slide that while you did not go through it, Del Nadre and Levi had a fun time becoming honorary Goliaths. Tansy had a
Ugh.
Oh, no,
wonderful time.
Yeah, no, that's the tunnel was in the.
yeah, the tunnel was
The
at
previous-
the other one.
I'm saying
Oh.
like in the off of the like the chamber down here that I can't quite see, so I'm pinging in the dark.
Yes, it is.
There was like a
There
little
was a
slide down to that
runestone-
runestone.
But there was a runestone at the other place, wasn't there?
No.
No? Okay.
There was a
Yeah,
there's
I'm
another
mixing up
runestone
both of them.
within this sky tower, but not at the other, not at Wormjune Crag.
Okay, cool.
So that was here. All right, cool.
Mm-hmm. So yes, Kanayaka just invites you to come and sit. Levi, are you going to come and sit around the fire?
Yeah, I think he would sort of do a visual sweep of the room, if you wouldn't mind me doing a perception check just to see if anything sticks out to me.
Yeah.
Um,
What are you looking for?
I'm not necessarily looking for danger. I'm just looking to see if there's anything in here that would give us sort of any information about Granny Kanaika or anything to do with sort of anything to do with her personality or who she is as a person. To sort of make her easier to converse with.
So as she sits there at the fire, you see in this and roll your perception check, but I'll go ahead and start with this part. You see right next to her, she has some knitting needles, crocheting needles, I guess. So I guess the thing is nothing's been knitted here. Everything's been crocheted. Is that the better term of that categorizing
Yeah,
it?
so like the knitting needles are sort of straight and crocheting needles have hooks. So
Yeah, it's like it would be the crocheting. So everything is crocheted. Not much difference, but we'll make that.
As long as she's not crocheting socks, because I've heard that can cause like drama in the knitting community.
Why?
Apparently, crochet is not a good method of making socks.
apparently it doesn't allow for maintaining tension. So the sock becomes more of a sack.
Yeah, because it's not good for elasticity, and the loops are generally too big for like something that you want as tight as a sock.
Right. Okay. She is crocheting some socks.
Time to get the entire internet mad at us.
She's crocheting some very large cat sacks. Cat sacks. Yeah. Go with cat sacks. For the crag cat's feet. They don't need as much elasticity because she has made a little drawstring pull at the very top to cup them around the hands. But outside of that, the room seems fairly bare. You do notice that there seems to be where Kanayaka sits there. She has some like an empty teacup next to her with her crocheting needles and items and a weapon nearby, not too far away from like right behind her. Something that doesn't seem like it's been used very often. It seems unmistakably sharp and has no markings of combat on it. Off to the side over here on the left-hand side of the cave, there is another little hovel resting place, some pillows thrown against the wall that perhaps indicates that there's a common, looks big enough for two that sit in that little corner. The walls, some of the defeated enemy weapons include some Orcus weapons, some Duergar weapons, and some weapons of the townfolk, even a shield marking the emblem of Targos. And outside of that, everything is just crocheted, like kind of muted colors. There's not very much dye up here, although there are certain aspects. So like the entrance curtains are a deep purple, perhaps used from a very common purple mountain flower. that you can find in the area. Outside of the purples, there's a couple of pinks, maybe some blues, but very much things are white or brown, the color of fur, or whatever they're using to crochet. Fur? Is it sheep have fur, right? I would think.
Sheep have wool.
Sheep have wool.
Wool. Okay. Well, whatever color that they use for wool, for sure, natural wool. Oh, and the crag cat sheds, so there is cat hair everywhere. It gets stuck in everything. Did I answer your question of what you were looking for?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Sort of just. I see she has some sort of connection to the Ten Towns, especially with the shield of Targosh, or the shield with the emblem of Targosh.
Now
So
remember,
Levi might bring that up.
this is the chieftain's room just as much as it is hers.
Right. But I mean, I think Levi would be curious as to what the Sky Tower, uh, Goliaths, what their relationship with the Ten Towns looks like, because obviously he's not from Ten Towns; he's an outsider here.
Right.
So what led to them, sort of acquiring the shield? Was it made through trade? Was it through some sort of conquest or some sort of, like some sort of like a bet maybe or something like that. So just stuff for Levi to ask about in the future. But obviously, big cat, old lady, many crochet.
Yeah. Well done.
But yeah, Levi would come sit down.
It's like, wonderful. I can tell by your feet that maybe your footsteps, that you're not the same size as those who live here in Sky Tower. Mate, pray tell
Hold
you
on.
could tell me, where do you all hail from?
I'm gonna start really weirdly waving my arms around.
Look over it oddly.
Does she seem to be reacting?
She kind of turns towards you, and she kind of like tilts her head a little bit. She's like, "Are you waving a fan in here? What is that?
Oh,
Why is there?
sorry.
is there a
The
draft?
the smoke was getting in my eyes. I'll stop.
That's odd.
Anyhow, I'm Dell.
I thought I had asked Arn to install the smokeless fire.
Just a little bit of smoke. It's fine. It's not bothering. It's gone actually. It must have the smokeless must have just kicked in. Hi, I'm Dell. I'm from Icewind Dale. No, I'm not. I'm from Neverwinter, which is outside of Icewind Dale.
Levi is just like eyebrow arched. Like,
You don't even remember where you're from?
I am just very intimidated to be in the room with someone of your prestige. And there's a big cat. You have a big cat.
Rosemary is like gently offering a finger for the cat to sniff. She's trying to become friends with this cat.
It is like, at this point, it's calmed down a little bit. You're coming by, and Kanaika has shown no sign of unease towards your approach, and so for the point being, the crag cat has kind of just relaxed. It's laid its head down. Its back is now rested up a bit more against Kanaika, with its face kind of just looking towards you, Rosemary. It is not moving, but it does not seem to be bothered by the approach of your finger or hand.
It's gonna like chill with my finger out in hopes that the cat will like want to sniff just because I don't want to freak it out. I'm doing the thing with cats where you like let them come to you.
Yeah.
But Rosemary is like, yeah, I'm from Koldahar.
Oh. Oh. Wonderful. So you must be orc? Human? Both?
Half orc.
Half orc. Half orc. Wonderful. Good, good. I've made a number of trips down to Kuldahar in my youth. Lovely, lovely people. Oof.
Thank you.
Could have some great weekends there. You know, they threw quite a party, those orcs.
Yeah, the parties were intense.
A lot of flower power. A lot of flower power
Yeah.
thrown around. But nonetheless, still great fighters as well. I particularly loved wrestling with them, but another story for another time.
Levi just sort of patiently waits, and then when they finish speaking, he just sort of goes, "And I'm Levi, and I hail from the Moonshay Isles."
Oh, those islands?
They are, yes.
Never quite been on a boat myself. Always been here. Lots to do over here. I suppose you can consider myself being in a boat when I've ridden down I went down the sea of moving ice, but it wasn't very exciting. No fresh, salty air to waft through your hair. Not as many strapping men and their abs either. Everyone's always bundled up here.
Levi just sort of smirks at that, and he says, "I agree. There is a certain charm about the ocean life that you just can't quite get on land."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not as much sweaty men bodies. Sorry.
I think there are plenty of sweaty men bodies everywhere, except, of course, in the Winterlands.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's been hard. Being cramped up here. Past 2 years have not made it any easier. And of course, you have my affliction that makes everything just quite dull of late.
You're
I've
afflicted?
heard that.
Sorry.
No, carry on. I take back what I said. We'll go with Rosemary.
Yeah, I just asked like your affliction question mark.
Oh, yes. Age. I'm quite old. I'm going to be turning 75 next year. Oh,
And
and I'm blind.
ah,
El
this
nods.
makes sense. If anything, I've heard that the loss of one sense simply heightens the others.
Yes, but Arn is too much of a. He's spoiled. He's not a spoiled little child. I shouldn't say that, but he's protective of his mother. Yes, and doesn't think I can help myself. Won't let me leave the cave anymore. Maybe if I wasn't blind, it'd be. Well, if I wasn't blind, I'd just sneak out of here. Me and Timothy here. Ride through the snow. Go to some warmer climates. Heard. Nice island going, or our beach villas on a particular peninsula to the south.
Levi smiles and he says, perhaps when this winter is over, I'd like to take you on a trip to visit my home. I think you'd like it."
Oh, I can tell I'd like it. But I would think I think it'd be wonderful. Yes, to visit your home.
Levi smiles and just files this interaction away for future.
And off to the side comes comes a voice. Okay, all right, Granny, coming in. Here we go. Hot tea, hot tea. Coming in. Go closer, faster, faster. Roll 20's going slow. Rod is taking his time. You hear like the clinking of a couple of cups. Oh, come on, move faster. Here we go. Here comes Harad. And he kind of just goes, ah! Oh, I heard voices, but not this many. What is this? Hello, hello.
Hello.
I'm Harad. How are you?
Oh, you're the husband.
Yeah, yes. And the husband, who does not have enough tea for everybody. So here, and he kind of walks around. He puts a cup down in front of Kanaika and kind of just taps her on the shoulder. He also puts a cup of warm cream right in front of Timothy, right between Rosemary and Timothy. And this causes Timothy to kind of like look up at Rosemary, and these eyes are a bit different now.
Rosemary will withdraw her hand so it's clear that she is not a threat to the cream.
Timothy kind of like reaches out with one paw. His claw hooks the little the finger hole of the teacup and just pulls it close right underneath his head. And then he just goes down and starts drinking the cream. He's like, yes. How do you all like your tea?
What are
Only except if there's enough to go around. It's all right.
Enough to go around. Come on, what would I be if I was not prepared for tea? Tea time was the only way you can have class in these dark days, it seems. Right, Granny? She kind of nods her head, yes. Her mouth already sipping on some tea. So tea? Although I do have some coffee. You want some of that?
Yeah.
Ugh. Really? Kind of just looks at you.
I haven't had like a good cup of coffee since we have got to Icewind Dale. Yes, that would be great.
So tea for you other ones then?
He would be
Or-
lovely, thank you.
And you there in the middle?
I don't mean to be a bother. I'm not really a tea or coffee drinker. I'd have some I'll do.
Thinking like,
Would you
what?
happen to have, by chance, some warm milk and cacao powder?
God.
What is cacao powder?
It's okay. You know what? It makes sense that it wouldn't exist in.
I
Well, it wouldn't be
I have-
readily
Yeah, it's
available
I have
in
some
winter climates.
I have some goat cream. Would you like some of that?
I think I'll stick with my water for now. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll be right back. Okay. Gotcha. He runs in. You can just see like the second he before he even like closes the curtain, he's already frantically in there trying to like find some extra teacups because it doesn't look like from what you can just see from that brief glance you get when you look inside the inside their room that perhaps they don't have more than 3 teacups.
Rosemary will lean over and be like, "Okay, at some point I'm going to take you to Kuldahar because that might be the closest place that you would like potentially get cacao."
Levi, I didn't realize you were a cocoa drinker. That's adorable.
Listen, I don't look at me. Do I look like I need caffeine?
I like the idea of just you with like a little like marshmallow mustache.
Absolutely.
Also, I
all
know I know your thing doesn't really like alcohol, so it might not like caffeine either.
Your thing.
Yeah,
We started like so nice and now it's just a thing.
it's the thing.
Your spawn.
We are all over the place with this one.
Levi just sort of grimaces at the mention of his thing.
Sorry.
Wonderful. Kanayaka kind of like did you say that out loud? As Rosemary, right?
I mean, kind of like aside to
Yeah.
it was probably out loud.
Yeah, Kanayaka with her super sharp hearing kind of
Yeah.
chimes up and she's like, you're what is this thing? You're
Acid reflux.
that was
Levi's expecting.
roll
Levi has to tell the truth, right? So when nobody asks him about it, he doesn't have to say anything. But now that he's been asked about it, he has to tell the truth.
It's
And so
okay.
he, like-
I have answered for you, and therefore you don't have to answer.
No,
You're not
now he
lying.
feels bad.
No,
now
no,
he feels
Rose-
bad because you've lied for him.
Rosemary needs to roll deception first off because that came way too quick.
Shit.
For any decision we've ever made in this group, that acid reflux has been the fastest thing you've come to say. Let's see how well.
Deception.
Yeah, deception. And okay, it doesn't matter because I was gonna say you're gonna roll it with disadvantage because Rosemary lying to the sweet old lady, that's gonna put a pull on your heartstrings a little bar. But she sees through. She kind of like she had her cup in her hand and she like not forcibly but like sets it down with enough force to make the clink. She's like, "Man, in my household, we do not tell lies." She kind of like turns her head a bit more. She's not quite sure exactly where you were sitting, especially with the roar, like the crackling of the fire. So she's at this point looking between Levi and Del Nadre, just off into space. Eyes still closed. She doesn't really open her eyes. And she kind of just
makes
looks
sense.
as she looks over in between you both and she's like, "Young man, tell me, what is this? Why can't you drink alcohol? What is this thing?"
I apologize for the quick tongue of my friend. She is
Sorry.
very protective, and I am not a man to tell falsehoods myself. To tell you the truth, Lady Kanaika, I have been afflicted with a death sentence
Oh,
that I'm trying to get out of.
so you're on the run from the law, from
Not
your
quite.
home. Oh no, who gave you this death
I
sentence?
I encountered a monstrosity a while back
Ooh,
that I was unable to defeat.
oh,
A slod, if you're familiar.
ooh, quite. I have slain many a slot in my day.
And he nods. Obviously, she can't see that, but he nods and he says, I unfortunately am now host to one of its offspring.
Ah,
I am
I assume you were
attempting to remove it.
were you like early on in your career of adventuring when this slod
Oh,
afflicted you?
uh-oh.
Because I mean, why else would anybody be so foolish to allow them to touch you? Slod killing 101. Do they not have slots where you come from?
They do not,
Oh,
unfortunately, and a village was in danger.
well then your ignorance can be forgiven. Although it does say a little bit for your dexterous skills. So. But nonetheless, we'll touch more on that in the future.
Rosemary just shoots him a glance across the fire and just mouths sorry.
Levi is just clenching his jaw, once again aware of his failure as a person.
I'm sorry.
Hey,
I'm sorry, Levi.
you don't by any chance know how to get rid of a slod egg when it's in a person, do you?
I mean, certainly if you are used to fighting them, I mean, accidents happen, don't they?
She kind of just looks at you and she's like, um, yes. Yeah, I know how to get rid of the slot egg.
You do?
Yeah, of course. Most people do. It's the second part of slot hunting 101.
Could
That might be
you...
true, but
Okay.
most people do not seem to.
I
But that's
have to
beside the
ask,
point.
where are all of these books? I've learned about bodyguarding 101. I've learned about slot hunting 101. Is there a library that you keep of forbidden knowledge?
It's not.
Well, no, the guy had the book. He was
No, it's
holding
not.
the bodyguard book.
Yeah, it's not forbidden. No, we have a public library. Do you think we're animals? Like,
No,
no.
I would love to see your public
We-
library. I would love to read about how to get rid of this.
we are very.
Because I have been wandering around 10 towns for weeks trying to find a solution.
Well, yeah, no, humans are dumb. No. Goliaths are very education focused. We believe that the true proper way to raise strong and capable and survivable Goliaths is to allow them the free access to knowledge regardless of what it is. Except for magic and spells. That we don't really care too much about that. But some
Me
druidic
neither.
stuff, sure.
It
but,
freaks me out, to be
yeah,
honest.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, she kind of like turns a little bit more to the left, too far, to the left to talk to Dell. Are you okay with this? And turns more to the right, a little bit off to the right for Rosemary. And you're okay with me getting rid of the egg?
Would love to know what the process is before we agree to anything, but
Yeah, of course. Sure. She puts the tea down to the right, grabs her blade. It's like, well, I'm sure it's fairly sharpened. Levi, please come over here onto the side.
What?
We're gonna cut it
I'll
out.
scoot away.
You're going to just, cut it out.
Yeah, that's how you get rid of it.
We should have tried that. Why didn't we try that?
Yeah.
is
Have
this
you tried
process lethal to the host?
About 99% of the time, yes. But you
Nice.
asked.
Okay,
Wow.
I also would like to bring to the attention the fact that, ma'am, you cannot see. And my goal is to survive this process.
I mean, I can feel where it is. Then put my hands on your belly. Come here.
No, but wait, but I would like to live.
Come here.
I would like to live.
The crab cat Timothy stands up. Granny is now standing, her
Crab
hands
cat.
kind of just like her hands grasping the weapon, just slamming on the ground. Come here.
Could I make a suggestion? I am relatively practiced in the ways of medicine myself, being a druid. Would you be able to teach me how to do it?
You just make a lateral cut across the belly. You reach in, you grab the egg, squeeze and pull, and we hope that it does not take too many vital organs with it. And we live in a world of magical healing. Surely he'll be able to get to a place to survive in time. And if he doesn't, he doesn't. This is the way of the spine of the world. I mean,
Do you have accomplished healers here that would have magic available to heal him and restore those vital organs?
not that I'm aware of. No. Look,
Are
Okay.
there any
Look,
other
y'all
less
asked-
successful methods?
y'all asked how we get rid of it. This is the only way that we have on all the books, Slot Hunting 101, Slot Hunting 102, and the graduate level course Slot Hunting 201. Everyone says lateral cut across the belly, pull egg out, hope for survival. Either that or allow Slod to burst forth from the chest, guaranteeing death of the host, and often death of anybody within about a mile or two until somebody kills it. They're truly dangerous creatures. It is honestly amazed to me that you've been just walking next to him. He could blow at any moment.
No, he said he's got like days, weeks, maybe.
She kind of like turns.
We're kind of unclear on exactly how long, but it's probably a little bit.
Turns to you and says, So you're putting it up to the last few days of this 3-month cycle. And you're
It's a 3-month cycle. Well, how long has it been, Levi?
Is it
And
3
Levi
months or was it
stops.
60? Was it 60 days? Was it 2 months or 3 months? I forget if we did 60 days or if it was 90 days.
It's a 90-day cycle, but the problem happened a month before he got to Icewind Dale. So he was on a 60-day clock, and we've been in this campaign in running Icewind Dale for over a month in game time.
Yeah.
So if my calculations are correct, how far away is the Speakers Council?
About 10 days.
He's got about 7. Because if I remember correctly, it was like 2 or 3 days before the Speakers Council is when 60 days was up.
Right. And just to bring everything back up to the table, I want to say that Lena had also mentioned that it wasn't a very accurate science.
She did, yeah. She said it could be, it's 3 months, give or take 10 or so days. So literally he could burst at any time, which is why he's been slowly considering just throwing himself off the cliff.
So what we're saying is we're fine. We've got time. Like it's not even a thing. But now we know we've got an emergency like last ditch effort. Maybe we'll take a little bit of time to see if anyone else has any other suggestions, or if we can find a steady surgeon hand. And
Yeah. You have to be very careful when it comes to pulling out the intestines. If it's lodged in the intestines, you gotta be very careful. I read one book. There's this adorable golden retriever puppy, or no, yellow lab. Yeah, and oof, he was disemboweled, and it was a pretty gruesome sight.
Okay. If we can level up, I get Revivify. So, I don't know how Revivify works when you lose vital organs.
Doesn't Revivify require 1,000 gold piece diamond?
I think it's 300.
300.
Do we even have 300 gold as a party? I don't think so.
Yeah,
Probably not.
I don't know. I'd say you all are
I
pretty
mean, a
close.
diamond worth 300 gold pieces. We did just see a treasury full of, like, golden diamonds.
This is true. And you know
I
what?
think
Roll me a D20.
D20?
Yep. No, D100. Dun, dun,
D100?
dun, dun,
Bigger
dun.
one.
You
There were 28 300 gold diamonds in there. Wow, we could spare one.
No. But perhaps Del Nadra got a better look at the pile to also make a roll to see whether or not there was a diamond there.
Technically, it's diamonds worth 300 GP, so it can be an assortment of diamonds.
Okay. Can we
not.
pseudo roll for Beta?
In this
Because
economy,
Beta was also there.
We can pseudo roll for Bite. Okay, here we go.
spoils 3 gold.
Damn it.
Likelihood is that they do not have a 300 gold diamond. However, I'm fairly certain rules as written means that if you have the gold, you can go into town and find one.
They just
And
be
also,
having 300
Ray
gold
is
piece
correct.
diamonds there?
It doesn't have to be like a single diamond. It can be multiple diamonds. So if
Right.
they
Yeah, it can be
have
multiple
diamonds
diamonds.
totaling that much.
Turlemagne being a gem mine would likely be your best choice to go back and
Fair.
buy a diamond, which you have a pretty good standing in that town.
I could have sworn we had more gear, but I guess we spent a lot of it.
You spent some money coming out here and traded some
Let me
stuff
see how
as
much
well.
money I have. What does my character sheet say? Because I haven't really spent much money.
I have 39 gold pieces and 84 silver.
Yeah, I have less than that. I have 22 gold and 45 silver.
Dell?
Oh, I mean, I have 85 gold, but
the Sludger has gold
However, I do have an illithid crystal skull, which might be worth a pretty penny somewhere. Speaking of which, I think at this point Levi would look at Rosemary and would speak into her mind, and he would just say, "Can I speak with you, in private, please?"
Has he done this with her before?
too.
I don't think so.
No, but I think
No,
it
he has
already.
not.
I think you guys already went through the shock of speaking in mind
That's
whenever
true.
whenever he attuned to the crystal in the
Yeah,
tent with
I
everybody.
know
Yeah, when
Levi
he
and
and
Dell
Dell were
had
like,
this.
yeah.
So
when they had
Rosemary
their
kind of
moment.
like quirks an eyebrow, and she can like think back, right?
I believe so.
Yes, it is a two-way
She's
communication.
just going to like trying to think loudly because she doesn't know how this works. She says, "Of course. Do we do this like this, or should we step out?"
No, he meant exactly like this. Like, and
Damn it.
Levi points at Del Nadre, and he makes he mouths and he does like a continue on, like talk to her, like talk to Kanayaka. He's like gesturing between the two of you.
Dell's gonna
try to convey that.
slide on in.
Okay.
And
Right.
Levi turns to Rosemary, and in the theater of the mind, in their joint mind palace that they've just built, they're going to have a quick conversation that goes like this. Levi says, "I would like you to remove it tonight."
Are you certain? Because
I
I
have
don't
no
know if I can heal you as well as needed.
And he looks at her and he says, "I, through your connection with Bree, I'm certain that you know their history with the slots. And Lena does not seem like one to lie. And she said that the science is not exact. I could quite legitimately burst at any moment. We no longer have time to waste. And yours are the only hands that I trust to do this."
I would be honored, and I will do my absolute best.
And he nods, and he just replies back, "We have to find a suitable location to do this, where you can have space and quiet. Perhaps Lady Kanaika can assist us with that, but I do not wish to wait any longer."
Okay. Should I tell Lady Kanayaka that we are planning this, or should we avoid that topic?
I believe we can tell her, but due to her affliction, I think it would be best that she not participate.
That is valid. I will learn all I can from her experience and do my best in her stead.
I, if worst case, and he chokes up a little bit. He says, "If the worst comes to pass, I want you to do the following. Please attempt to control Del Nadre, for his actions are sometimes irrational. Number two, please, in my legacy, continue to grow our Chowinga village,
Of course.
and if the opportunity presents itself, bring good and the end to this winter in Icewind Dale, in my stead."
I absolutely will, even if it even if you are going to be there with us, because you are. We're not going to
And
lose you.
he nods, but you you see that there is no longer any light in his eyes. He is committed to this fate that has befallen him, and he knows that this is his last day to live.
Okay.
Ooh, wonderful time. So, back with Del Nandre and Kanayaka. Del Nandre, as they start their secret conversation, what do you do to distract Kanayaka from the fact that they aren't talking?
It is impossible to enter this room without noticing the beautiful hangings you have. Are these your work?
Ah, I wish I was this skilled. No, I've been trying to get the handle of these. God, she kind of picks up her crocheting needle, like knitting things, and you can see like upon closer inspection, the socks for Timothy don't look like they would even be like they're even crocheted in any remote of the sense. Kind of looks like she wrapped a bunch of yarn around a hand and then started to just tie it so that it was just loosely in the shape of a circle or a bag. I don't know. Harad is the connoisseur of everything in here.
Oh, I would not have guessed. Um,
No, I
the work you're putting together there is just it's unparalleled.
you kind of just flat.
What is that a hat?
Her facial expression just goes flat, and she's like, "Son, please, let us stop this pathetic attempt at trying to gain my favor in compliments of things that I've so obviously, even with my affliction, I'm aware they are failures. How about you instead tell me some stories of grandeur from your time adventuring? I would truly love to live through the eyes of one other."
How would you like to hear about the time when I died?
I would love it.
All right,
Oh,
I'm
I
going to tell you
think
the story of the Black Cabin.
How did you die? How did you come back?
I was disintegrated.
Disintegrated, and yet,
50% of my body reduced to dust.
oh, the good half of the bad half.
It was kind of a left-right thing.
Ah, oof, shame. The good halves and the bad halves.
But both.
Bit of both. Bit of both. So, how'd you come back? Is there what is in the afterlife? Nothing?
Well, I think that's kind of a broad question. The afterlife that we saw was just a cabin, and there was a really angry skull.
How dreadfully dull. That does not seem like a very good afterlife. No, like endless fields of battle, mountaintops you can climb and scale and adventure and discover forever. Hand-to-hand
I'm sure there's
fights
one
with
of those. At
oiled
least
men?
one or two of those. Yeah, probably. There's probably some of that.
Wonderful. Wonderful. But this cabin and a flaming ghostly skull.
Yeah, I'm not sure that it was so much it was like the afterlife, if it was more kind of just like a we got stuck.
Ah.
Um
Hmm.
there was some weird stuff going on at that cabin.
That reminds me
Weird
of a
stuff.
time. In fact, she kind of looks over at Rosemary a little bit. It happened in Kotahar. I went there and they had the most wonderful hallucinogenic frog that they had on that they were sharing that night. Oh, we tripped for it felt like a week to me, but I was told that I was actually gone for about 7 months.
Shit.
Wow.
Fantastic
I
of a time. In fact,
Am I still having the conversation in my head at this point, or can I hear her?
you can definitely hear her during her conversation. It chimes in like midway.
We're just having like a heartfelt like if/when I die, here's what you should do in my legacy, and then she's talking about like tripping off of a frog.
Yeah.
I've been around, I've tried a few things, but I've never tripped down the frog lane.
Mm.
How does that work? Do you lick it?
Well,
Is it
they said you were supposed to lick it. I thought that was not really disgusting because I really do enjoy frog legs, but I just thought that like why lick it when you would get so much more out of it if you just put it in your mouth and chewed it up.
I feel like Rosemary is like ADD icon enough that she's like, yeah, it secretes oils.
Yeah. So it was I heard it was a terrible thing that I did. I fought some people. I disappeared from Koldahar for a while, and but in my mind, however, I went on a magical adventure. We saved the life of the Storm Princess from a bunch of giants, and there was some murder and betrayal. Had really delicious food and some dizzying heights, but I came right back and found myself stuck at the whatever that place is in Caer Konig with the sisters. The something light.
the Northern Light?
I think so. I don't know. I wasn't gonna look. I was like, oh, here it is. Haha. It is the Northern Light. Wow, wonderful.
Nice.
And
Boom. The Northern Light. Yeah. Woo. Oh, at those times, those sisters were just wee
because
little
Del
lads.
Nadre never forgets a bitch.
Yeah, easy time. So,
So yeah, the Rosemary, you're definitely right. After all this is done, we need to take a trip to Kuldahar, and I glance over and I can see them both intensely staring at each other with like tears in their eyes.
yeah, there's some
Yeah, we need to make a trip to Kuldahar. You know what? So tell me about Timothy.
Oh, Timothy is, and at this point, Herod walks right back in, and he is
Thank
carrying a
God.
big tray, and he comes. He's like, "Ah, wonderful! I got the." He quiet.
Okay, you don't have to say it. It's just please right here.
I'm over here. He's walking behind them, and he's like slowly as Levi and Rosemary are still kind of. This is the tail end of your conversation. He leans down. Why are you crying? He asks Levi.
Rosemary,
Or
I
Levi.
imagine this is. Oh, leave it.
Oh no, oh Rosemary.
Levi definitely isn't crying. He like to those who don't know him, I imagine he just looks like Levi.
Okay. Then
Rosemary's
like-
crying a little.
then Rosemary. Why are you crying?
I imagine this is like the end of the conversation. She's like,
Yeah.
it's like, those frogs. I miss the frogs.
Frog? What? Frogs? We don't have any frogs here. This is
Yeah, that's the problem.
oh. Okay. Well, here's your tea and
Thank you.
and your water, and he just hands you like a cup with some snow in it. It's just slowly melting.
It's ice water.
It's ice.
And Levi just nods.
And he gives the cup of coffee to Don Andre. Dale, it is well one. It is not very good. It's very strong.
Perfect.
Herod does not know how to make coffee. Doesn't make it very often. In fact, does not like coffee, but keeps it on hand in case. I guess he just doesn't have a filter, so a lot of the grounds are in the bottom of it, and it's a bit thick. There's no cream, no nothing, no sugar. It is black. It's very black, like a black goo black.
And yet, in this moment, Dell is euphoric.
Yeah, but it is super caffeinated. And it does taste vaguely like coffee. He probably has some like really good like coffee beans, but he just doesn't know how to make them at all. So you start with a high quality and just muddies it up a bit.
My good man,
So, yeah.
you could strip paint with this. It's perfect.
So he gives those and he comes back over to his little seat over here, sits down. He kind of just Herod's in control of the conversation now. Okay, so tell me what's happening. What is happening in 10 towns? I don't hear about anything. Arn keeps us locked up here day in and day night in the winter. And before the winter, we could get out there and we could at least explore a little bit. Let the wind run through our hair. Granny and I went some mild adventures, and Granny kind of just kid stuff, really. Yeah, but I used to love going to Bryn Shander. They have a wonderful shopping district. It is fantastic. I get all of like my supplies that I need for the year. Really good tea merchant down there. She also doubles as a potion shop. Kind of merchant. This big weird like bathtub in front of her shop. Have you seen her? Is she still around?
Levi stops, and he just starts digging in his bag, and he pulls out the he's got the hold on, let me
Magical potion?
hold on. The copper claw potion is what we called it.
Yes.
He pulls it out and he says, "I've actually got one of her copper claw potions on me."
Oh. Well, I'm really more interested in her tea selection.
Oh, I wasn't offering it to you. I was just telling you that I've
Oh,
got one of
so
her
yes,
potions,
so
and so I'm
she's still
familiar with
there.
her. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. Yeah. So how's 10 towns? Good. Things doing well?
Eh.
No.
Oh,
Generally not.
okay.
Most of the towns are in shambles, and they are struggling to deal with the everlasting winter.
Oh, but is the rest of the world fine?
Outside of the Dale,
Yeah.
Eh.
Oh,
it's okay.
oh. Well, that doesn't make me happy. I was thinking y'all were gonna come here and tell us things are great, but we're just being back here being ass backwards with this feud. Gosh, don't know why. Orange feels like he has to. This blah, 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 blah. Childhood trauma that killed my griffin. I mean, granted, yes, beautiful bird. I love our griffins, but like, come on, like we're stuck up here. All I want to do is just get out of this place and go someplace and shop and explore and have adventures and drink tea. Oh my lord, the tea. You know, I'm on my last tea bin. I keep a 3-year supply of tea, and I'm on my last tea bin. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?
We need to get you some tea.
You do need to get me some tea. How are you
Well,
gonna get me some tea?
We could potentially get some tea and send some with Tansy.
Who is Tansy?
Dansy's my bird.
Oh,
But like no, so you guys, you have like a lot of money and stuff that you could buy tea with, right?
yes, of course. You think I'm stupid? That's a,
No, but I
I
mean,
mean, come on. Like
everyone else
I
seems
didn't
to be.
only marry Arn for his looks.
What else did you marry him for?
His money. As chieftain, he
Oh,
has control of the
gotcha.
coffers. As you see, we've been able to afford all this wonderful wool. Of course,
Yeah.
because Lady Kanayaka here needs to stay warm, and we didn't want all this bare, hard stone. And these pillows that here you go, Granny. And he kind of like gives some of like the 17 pillows he has in his corner to Lady Kanayaka. Yeah, yes,
I
yes,
think Levi just sort of stops for a second. He's not the brightest bulb, but the math isn't mathing, and he stops and he says, "Isn't Aaron your son?"
my son.
Oh, Levi, dear honey.
I'm confused now.
Did you think that I was married to Lady Kanayaka?
No, he's talking to Kanaika.
Kanayaka's not speaking.
Well, I
I'm
think he meant.
confused.
so
Okay.
No,
Herat is
Levi
the
is confused. I
husband.
understand completely.
okay. So Levi is asking Kanayaka that Arn is her son because
Just to clarify, to make sure that he understands correctly.
Kanayaka's like, yes, Arn is my son. Herod is my son-in-law. Wonderful man.
Perfect.
We do, and
Fantastic.
I really do enjoy his tea. It's wonderful.
Son.
I'll take your word for it. I'm not a tea drinker myself.
Yeah.
But
It's well, I have to say I do appreciate a nice warm cloth wool that my feet commonly get stuck on, and I trip a little bit off quite often as I'm shuffling around my cave. But it is warm. That's good. And Herod's bent back, just like, yeah, exactly. What's the question here?
no, there was no question. I was a moment behind the conversation.
More like a moment behind the times. Haha, holla.
Levi just blinks and he says, "I'm not sure what you mean by this."
I just air high five nobody.
Rip.
Like
No.
you as a DM,
Yeah,
or like
like me as a DM.
Okay.
We are air high fiving just myself. Good.
It's okay.
Roll for Air
When what's his
5.
face like first walked into the room, I definitely like raised my hand to wave and was like, "Oh, nobody can see me."
Yeah.
Waving to
You
my
guys
wall
are
in my
doing
empty
facial
apartment.
expressions and stuff the whole time. I mean,
On
Yeah.
accident, yes.
Whenever I talk as Kanayaka, I close my eyes. To
Makes
make
it hard to see the game notes.
yeah. But I'm in character. anyways, time goes on. Y'all are sitting here with Harad and Kanayaka sharing stuff, and for the most part, Harad and Kanayaka want to learn more about the outside world from you, from the party, from what's been happening, and they do not care one bit about the feud. They don't give a rat's ass. Now, how often would you guys want to kind of like bring it up, like, hey, Arn should speak to Ogalai? You know, what do you
well,
what
I
how
think it would be like good to. I was gonna say like Rosemary will say just like Kanayaka. Just for the record, I would love to at some point have circle back around and work with you on the whole surgery procedures. I would love if you would be able to teach me your ways at some point, but what we're really here is to talk about Arn.
uh-huh. What do you want to talk about my son for?
We would love if he would agree to a temporary uh uh truce with Ogalai just to discuss potential forwarding of the relationship
Of
between the
course.
two clans.
Yeah, of course. I would love to.
Really?
great.
Yeah, I have no problem. I think this feud is, well, dreadfully boring. It has restricted the fun I get to have. This is Kanayaka speaking, and poor Hared here can't go out and shop because it is kind of difficult to leave Sky Tower when we really can't go through Wormdoon Crag's lands. Yeah, sure, things weren't as bad before the Everlasting Winter. The feud was a feud, but I mean, we just didn't talk to each other. The winter has, well, it's made things more difficult. Yes, and it is more tense, more tension. Sure, but I mean, you have our vote. Yeah, 100%, no feud. But we're not Arn.
Mhm.
So we would need some help convincing Arn.
I would need some help convincing Arn. What do you think we talk about him every day? And Harad's just in the background every night over dinner. Arn, please, honey, come on, no more feud. Let's go to 10 towns. No, I gotta defend my borders. They're here to hurt me. Ah, rah, 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 rah.
All right. So I have Ogalai's cape, which I've been told that Arn potentially wants.
He does, yes.
So
Harad's
would
like,
we be able to use this as a bargaining chip?
Harad is in the background, just kind of like, yes. Even though I've crocheted him 50 million capes, he still refuses to accept anything but Ogalai's cape. Burn it.
Burn it.
Burn it. Do me a favor. Burn it. Maybe if he doesn't.
Problem.
Maybe.
I have kind of promised Ogalai that I would try to get this back to her.
Well, I mean, are you going to give it to Arn?
That is up to whether or not it would work.
I don't know. Anyways, if you give it to Arn,
It's a potential, yeah.
there's absolutely no way in any year or future world that Arn would give that back to Ogalai, especially considering the feud he has with that woman. No. You should burn it. That way he would accept one of my cloaks. He would recognize that crocheted cloaks are the sign of the future. Then I could open a shop in Bryn Shander, and I wouldn't have to be here all the time. Just come here on the weekends.
What? Why is Arn so dead set on continuing the feud? What is it? What has he told you?
Well, we're not gonna have any kids, which is fine. It's the lifestyle we chose. We didn't want any. We wanted to live it up. And, we always saw that adoption could be a path in the future, but the Goliaths don't really see that as like active or an eligible way to pass down chieftainship. And so ultimately,
Side note: is this man a Goliath?
yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Just the way he said that made it sound like he's
He's-
just an elf in the room, like the Goliaths.
no, but
He
so
married in.
yeah, so we've had a feud for a while. Things became worse with the winter. The Warm Dune Crags decided to kind of be a little bit butt faces, and they have the power. They are a bigger clan. They kind of blocked us off, and that's there's you've seen it. I'm sure there's the what do you call 'em? Macho bravado? No, macho-ness.
Toxic masculinity.
Yeah, exactly. That. Snaps fingers and points to Rosemary. That is evident here, and Arn has to show strength. He
Coin
thinks
that
that's
phrase.
he thinks that starting a war with Wormdoon Crag would help him keep his chieftainship. And yeah, he's right. If he dies, then I mean, what am I gonna do? Granny Kanayaka, as much as she holds some sway here, would be relegated to the communal cave, and that just really would not do well for her.
This is like typical behavior for Aaron. He usually this kind of, I don't know, toxic masculinative.
No. Aaron has always been. He just knows how to play the game of politics. Unfortunately, the game of politics here is toxic masculinity. If he's not strong, he's weak, and if he's weak, he's not able to be a good leader. So he thinks he can kind of shut up some of those people who think that he hasn't done anything for the past 15 years, except, I don't know, make us survivable and provide wonderful new griffins for our clan and stockpile a massive horde and doing a lot of really good things, but oh man, hasn't warmongered any. It's truly a tragedy.
Is there a way we could convince the clan, and therefore convince Arn?
I think at this point, you either need to beat them all up, or you need to point him
Challenge accepted.
or you need to point him in a different direction. They're gearing to go. This has been, I mean, look, we have it nice here in this cave, right? You saw what everyone else is dealing with. Like, it's a point of contention, even that we live like this. And I only have tea. Not like you see us cooking stew here, right? Don't have some fat slab bacon to throw on the pot on the thing. Maybe I can get some crag cat, but
Imagine that Rosemary kind of reaches over to like mock cover the crag cat's ears.
but no, Timothy would rip me to shreds. We've yeah, Timothy would rip me to shreds. No. We need.
Can I tell if this guy is being like he sounds genuine in that he wants the feud to end?
Yeah, you can roll insight.
I mean, it seems like he does, but hey, yo.
Yeah.
Damn, okay.
He's very genuine in everything he said since the moment you've met him, and this is just like the kind of like you've read his body, you've understood what kind of like the emotions, his body language, and such. He truly does not like living here in Sky Tower's shelter in the way they've lived here in the past 2 years. Now, he hasn't really talked much about issues beyond the past 2 years because there was a bit more communication between the clans, there was a bit more communication between 10 towns, but since things have become harsh, he has not enjoyed it, and he does believe that his time with the clans is he's kind of fearful for his own life, He's a strong, burly man, but it doesn't seem like he's one of the guys who might excel in the strong versus weak environment of the of the feasting hall.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, kind of
So, like-
a
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna kind of an off-topic question. I assume the shield on the wall belongs to Arin. That's not yours, is it?
Is that to Herod or is that to Kanaika?
To Herod.
Oh, no. In fact, all this is Kanaika's.
Oh. It's your shield.
Oh, she's Kanaika's just like, yeah. Targus has rubbed me a bit of a wrong way in my 60s. Had a little bit of vendetta. Some vigilantism. Nah, that's not a very good word for it. Some
I mean, sometimes vigilante's got a vigilante.
Some hooliganism. You could say that in my 60s. Remember, she said she was about 74 or so.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am currently banned from the town. Their leader is he's a stuck-up prick with a hidden agenda, but
He's not the biggest fan of us either.
probably because you're doing good. Doesn't seem like that was always his side of the road.
Yeah.
Let's just say he hangs out with a very interesting crowd. You mentioned Lady Kanaika to him. He might honestly try to kill you. I pissed that man off quite a bit.
Levi smiles and also puts that in the back of his mind.
Yeah.
In his head, he's like, if I survive this, I'm gonna bring this up to that fucker.
Yeah. You see those, and she kind of like hooks a thumb back behind you. It's completely to just a blank wall, but in the general vicinity, there is a pair of snakeskin boots. Those are a little treat I got from his pets. He stopped sending
Now
them
that's a
after.
story I do want to hear.
He stopped spending them. He stopped sending them after me. Well, just a little bit before I was able to finish the boots, so I had to go back to Targus to finish the set. But man, they're wonderful. I love the way they feel.
What are those? Was he sending snakes after you?
Oh yeah, these terrible
Up
little
the mountains?
buggers. Oh, flying snakes. Ugh,
Oh.
little pests.
But then you do get like the extra wing meat, which can be a nice snack.
Ew.
It's true. Yeah. Although the wings are feathered.
Yeah, so they don't really help with like the snakeskin, but they look awesome, and I bet they feel great.
Yeah, I had a really nice hat. Had some feathers in them. Lost that a little
What
while
happened
back.
to it?
It's gone.
I'm so sorry.
I know. Goldahar says they couldn't find their lost and found, but I know some smug little orc is there, just wearing my beautiful pirate's hat.
In hindsight, did we... Oh, wait, no. That cold of heart, never mind. In hindsight, does Rosemary remember that?
Yeah, do I remember seeing a hat like that?
Ooh, you know what? You roll me history.
Let's see. History.
My dad has a hat like that.
15.
All right, so you have three options. You have seen the hat. You have seen it on your cousin. He's another half orc. Kind of likes high fashion, but definitely does not have the money to wear high fashion. But he's always been very prideful of a hat that he said he found one day. Your like your town quartermaster, or your grandmother. And it was something your grandmother always was just like, that's a story for whenever you get older.
I have that kind of a headcanon that, like, the grandparents on her father's side are, like, the actual tough ones, and then her father was kind of, like, quiet for an orc, which is why he married a druid. So I kind of like the idea that, like, it was her grandmother who, like, they either had a fight for the hat or, like, it's
Well,
like,
yeah, won it in
you
a
know,
game of poker that Kanaika blacked out on.
it's like, hmm, there's potentially a way I could get that back, but it might depend on if I'm in the will.
Interesting. Well,
I
we'll
love
just
that there's just this like old person feud
Yeah,
across 100 miles and 2 like races.
yeah.
Ah, yeah.
I've been watching a ton of Downton Abbey lately, so I'm just like picturing Maggie Smith as a half orc with like a giant hat.
Exactly. If Maggie Smith could bench press you.
I stole this hat from a woman up north.
Wonderful. So yeah,
I won it in a game.
so Rosemary's grandmother has Kanaika's hat, like fancy hat.
I'm writing that in my character thing.
For me, Kanayaka is now played by Helen Mirren. And I'm just, the two of them are just gonna go at it.
And I imagine like both of them, they're just gonna like have like a fist fight. Like it's not just like gotta go at it; they're just gonna really go at it. This Goliath.
Yeah,
will-
like two old ladies just like sitting across the table, and it starts out everyone thinks they're gonna have this like big bickering like banter, like, oh, to Kanayaka, I see you're still, kicking, and just like they're gonna insult each other, but instead they just start throwing punches.
It's an arm wrestling match.
Rosemary, please tell me your grandma's also blind.
Probably at this point. I don't think orcs live
No.
particularly long.
No, Rosemary's grandmother is half blind, and that's always been a point of contention with the Kanayaka and Rosemary's grandmother.
Rosemary's grandmother just flips the table, stands up, and just shreds her dress down the front, just to reveal all of her flexing muscles.
Orcs reach adulthood. They live up to 50 years. So potentially that hat has already been passed in a will.
Oh god. Kanayaka over here thinking like,
how long ago was this?
It's at least 10, anywhere between 10 to 15. No. Anywhere between 15 to 6 years ago.
15 to 6.
They don't have to be the same age.
Right.
That's true.
They're on the same level of old person scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the same level of old lady.
It's the years of adventuring that is considering them to be a grandmother, not their actual age.
We're both elders of the fourth dawn. It's just, that what that means as far as age is different.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, so yeah.
Could we destroy someone in Goat Ball and therefore change the entire mindset of the clan?
We don't even play Goat Ball anymore. Does Wormdew Crack still play Goat Ball? Wait, let me get it. Let me get this. Do they announce themselves world champions even though they're the only ones who play?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Sounds like the kind of thing they would do.
Yeah.
I'm sure they also probably invite us every year, and yet we don't really have a place to play. Also, like, why waste energy? Why waste... Do they have that much extra food?
I mean, that's kind of why we're trying to get this, like, rendezvous to happen. Because, like, things are a little bit better a little further down the mountain, and I think that there's enough that both of you can survive comfortably. Especially if you work together against a greater... Oh, wait, have we mentioned the greater foe yet?
Who?
The Duragar.
No. That would have been really good whenever I had mentioned that we should point them in a different direction. So you're saying there's a foe we can point them at?
We can! We can point them at the Duragar!
Oh, okay, good. And what evidence do you have for Arn that he would listen to say that there are Duragar threatening Sky Tower?
Levi points at Dell and he says, Del Nadre, the letters.
The letters, Del.
I reach into my bag and like throw out 5 letters, a scrap of paper, and 2 folders worth of like documents on the ground, and I just kind of start shuffling through them all, and I come up with a scrap of paper that has Dwarvish writing.
Yes. Can I?
Does anyone here read Dwarvish?
Kanayaka holds her hand out. Yes. Let me see this letter.
All right.
You do
I pass
realize
it
how
over.
ironic that is, right?
Yes, I do. Harad, come here. Read this for me.
Could have just handed it to him.
Harad's like, yeah, no, Granny, I'm sorry. I didn't take Dwarvish in school. We
If
could
you read it out loud,
we
I
could
think.
probably go and get a phrase book from the library, but take a couple of days.
I'm gonna walk over and poke my head through the curtain. Do either of you speak Dwarvish? Or read it at least?
Let's see. I think I heard.
Was that in your book?
That yeah, there's a what's his name? The pale fella. He speaks Dwarvish.
You're all
Did we get
pale.
him? Rude.
That's very rude,
I mean,
sir.
compared to people who don't live on a mountaintop, you're all very pale.
Well, then go find the.
Can you maybe give me a name?
The name? No, I don't.
And make the DM come up with a name.
And now I forgot the passcode that I had just thought up to have a new passcode because obviously.
Was it strength again?
God damn it!
Was it strong? Maybe.
You know what? He's also very pale, but he has raccoon eyes. Go look for the raccoon man.
The next few passwords were going to be bigger, better, stronger, power in those words. In that word.
So the guys with eyes like raccoons.
All right, Harad. If I were to describe to you a Goliath who was pale with eyes like a raccoon, would that mean anything to you?
Yeah.
Does it mean anything in a way that's slightly more helpful than one of your guards?
Oh, he's probably talking about Kavanaugh.
Okay, a name. That's cool.
Yeah.
What was that name again?
Kavanaugh?
Like Brett?
Yeah, like that. Can we fight him?
We'd love to fight him. Throw in 6 of the Supreme Court justices into this game, and that'd make our day, huh?
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's our next boss battle.
Yeah. I know some of the names for the speaker councils now.
Hey there, Brett Kavanaugh. What's it like up there in 10 Towns?
So yes, Kavanaugh. Yeah, he's honestly, if you want to talk about toxic masculinity, that's the guy right there.
Oh no. Is he like the dude from the trough? Did we see a guy with raccoon eyes at the trough?
Roll history with advantage.
For history with advantage. Oops, that didn't roll with advantage. But there's a second roll.
Yes. Yes, you did see a guy with raccoon eyes. He has this weird like discoloration around his eyes that kind of makes it look like he has a raccoon mask. And he was the jerk that kind of ran the whole, he was the guy who kind of like argued with your whole group about the way to do things is right.
The bastard.
Yuck.
Yep, that guy. But don't y'all like already know what the writing says?
Yeah, I mean we know what it says, but
are we credible?
They were like, oh, can we get proof that we can show to the guy? And we're like, oh yeah, that says the dwarves hate you and they specifically want to come kill you. And they're like, wow, we better check it.
Does Arn read Dwarvish?
He probably knows some phrases.
Yeah, so I mean, if we give the gist and then Arn can confirm it,
Yeah,
And then
the librarian was my babysitter when I grew up. So, and when he grew up, father wasn't in the picture. He couldn't cut it on one of our adventures, and I had to cut his rope so I could continue on.
brutal.
Yeah, he wasn't very good either. Pretty opportune situation, but don't tell Arn that.
Girl boss, love it.
I keep hearing about this library. Is there any chance that we can take a look at that?
Yeah, they are pretty strict with their passcodes. Did you apply ahead of time to get your library card?
No, we didn't plan.
Or just kind of like pulls a letter out from behind one of his pillows. Here. Um, I have never filled out my card. I always go with Arn, so you can take my application.
Fantastic.
Just mail it, and they'll probably be able to see you within like 15 to 20 business days.
Excellent.
And
Kanayaka, do you have a passcode that you're allowed to give us that goes into the library? The front guard said that you have passcodes.
She kind of just looks at you and says, I haven't been to the library for some obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure if you were able to authorize people to go into it.
Oh yeah, no, they change the passcode like every couple of days.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could wait for the next set of carrier pigeons to arrive. That would provide the new passcodes for all the Goliaths that are living here. And then you could steal one. I don't advise it, but it wouldn't be too hard. And then use that.
Very bureaucratic society.
And then use that passcode to get into the library. Or you could guess it. I think 3 weeks ago it was books.
Oh. I mean, maybe they refresh on a 3-week cycle.
It could.
Worth a try.
Yeah.
But we have the letter, and we have the gist of it.
Yeah. What does it say?
Could we use this to convince Arn and or steer the direction of your people?
Of course, if that letter, your evidence, will make a clear argument that the Duragar are out to kill us. I mean, honestly, Arn could use it as a way to send the people to fight Duragar. We love killing Duragar. It's a great pastime. They're very hardy foes. Make for good combat.
Request that letter be put in the handouts if that's available, just so we don't keep forgetting what it says.
Yes, I will find it right now. Oh, not player art hand. Nope, not that hand.
It definitely convinced Ogalai. I will say that.
Well, if it's good enough for Ogalai.
I think it's actually a handout. Oh no, here it is. It's not a handout, so I can't give it to you. But I will make a writing. I'll make a player note for you guys that shows what it says.
Cool. Sounds good.
Find it here. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, I mean...
Also, just to confirm, Arn went out for the day, right? He's out, like...
Yes, Arn is gone for the day, expected to be back in the evening.
Okay.
And Bitte is gone for hopefully just a day.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Yeah, there is no handout for the note, but the note says, "Brother, you will find me on the frozen ferry in East Haven. From this new base, the search for Chardalyn continues. Long may our father reign over this dark land." And it is the son of Zardoc Sunblight.
Zardoc Sunblight.
Mm-hmm.
And we discussed with Ogalai that this was pretty intent for harm to basically everybody.
At least to 10 towns, yes.
Yeah.
I
So if they hurt 10 towns, there will be no more tea.
You hear the gasp, Maharid. This would be so you're saying the Duergar are gonna kill 10 towns.
Yeah, and I mean, what's to stop them from coming over the mountains?
Exactly. Plus, I mean, if there's no 10 towns, where else are we gonna go? We're just gonna live
Yeah.
ourselves up here in this. No. Granny, this cannot happen. We need to convince Arn to change course. Perhaps Rahi can. He's like our spiritual leader. He's always cooped up there with those birds. He just got a new baby bird too, so I guess he's a bit preoccupied. But maybe he would just get out of his funk and like actually help us again. He's too worried about the life of the birds.
Should we go pay him a visit? Do you think that would help?
Yeah.
I can't tell if that's him being hesitant or you being hesitant.
That's Herod being hesitant. Yeah, don't tell him I sent you. Him and I are in a bit of a tiff. I may have locked him in his room.
Rosemary looks around and is like,
for a week.
You don't have doors.
No. The trap door, and he points to the runestone over there in the rune room. There's a trap door because I was always complaining to Arn that the squawking is kind of like it's just bothersome. I mean, not to say like squawking was bothersome. Lately, in fact, Gaman, who's been staying in there, has been toiling away with his damn shard new ore. I don't know what he called it, shard or something.
Shardolin?
Yeah, that
the thing
sounds...
that is mentioned in this letter?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that. He found some and he's been toiling away every night. Goddamn, hammer. Like it's like he's just breaking through the walls or something. I don't know. It's like rock and hammer. Like, why does it do it at night? So I asked Arn to put a cover on the tunnel, and I may or may not have locked it and forgotten to unlock it. And I don't go that way. A week later, he was a bit upset.
That is understandable.
To be fair,
Week.
he never really knocked on the door that I heard.
Yep. Well, we will not mention that you sent us. We will just come to him as strangers seeking to help the clan.
No, don't say you're strangers. No. Kanayaka sent you. Don't
Okay.
just wander in as strangers. That would be terrible. That would really be terrible. No. Go now. Go say hello to Harahi. Come back when you need to. We'll have some dinner prepared. It'll be light, but at least it'll be a bit better than the gruel down there.
Rosemary's gonna look to the other two and then look at Kanayaka and say, if I wanted to learn more about that surgical technique, should I hang behind and we could have a session, perhaps, Kanayaka? While the other two go talk with the aviary?
Sure. I mean, it's fairly simple. Lateral cut, reach in, pull out. There's no surgicalness to it. You just have to have a steady hand and hope that the egg hasn't impregnated itself into any vital organs. It's truly just a toss of the coin. It really makes things very simple when it comes to killing sloths. You just kill everything.
Still, if I could have, like, a couple just anatomical pointers of, like, where to cut, where it's likely to be, like, that sort of thing. It would definitely help the process.
Sure.
I think Levi knows exactly what Kanayaka wants. And he stands up and he just sort of walks over to Kanayaka and he says, Lady Kanayaka, may I have your hand? And he holds it out in front of him.
Oh, Levi.
She puts her hand out.
And he grabs it and he puts it on his abs, and he says, "Please show Rosemary where to cut."
Okay. Yeah, Ganayaka's like, these are well chiseled. Very good.
Thank you.
I see you work out. She kind of just like puts her arm to a fist and kind of like finds your belly button, and then just goes like a knuckle, like a couple of knuckles up with like the fist from like the bottom of the fist on your belly button, goes up, and she puts a little finger off right there, and then her pinky finger goes all the way to the right. So now she's a couple knuckles up from your belly button, and then all the way to the right as far as her hand would go. And she's showing Rosemary's like, okay, so look, you stab here, you cut to the side here, then you would, and she kind of just mimics punching you in the stomach, but she kind of like actually gives you a pretty good punch. Levi, were you prepared for this?
No.
So kind of
He
like
just goes,
she definitely like sucker punches you, like showing her true granny strength there, and she's like, "Hey, you could get in there quick, because like once the slot egg recognizes that it is about to be,
Ejected.
yeah, it will biologically, it has these sensors that speed up the process where it would prematurely be ejected, and still a tiny slot is just as deadly as any other kind of slot.
So you reach in, grab, squeeze.
Squeeze. Yes, you have to squeeze. Some
Okay.
books have said you're supposed to squeeze when it's outside of the body. I don't think that it would make much difference. I mean, it's already pretty bad in there. You never know. You're risking it if you pull it out. Granted, the guts and the juices and all that other stuff, being it's a planar being, would interfere and intermingle with some of Levi's internal organs, but well, I think it'd be the least of your problems. And then as long as you have some magical healing ready to go, you'll be good to go.
All right.
Or it-
Rosemary, I imagine, as she came over, kind of grabbed a little bit of like a stick with some charcoal on the end from the fire, and just kind of like draws some guidelines on Levi's chest.
Whoa, Rosemary, I think that's a little premature. We could probably wait until we're actually going to do the surgery, right?
Yeah, I just want to like visualize it, and then I'll be good. Okay.
I mean, it's going to wash off
Yeah.
like in the next couple days.
Yeah. All right. So you got your brief little training from Kanaika. Now is all three of y'all going to go to Rahi? Rahi?
Sure.
yeah, I think so.
All right. So as you go to the northeast, you go through the little tunnel there. Everyone can move themselves to the runestone. There is in front of you an 8-foot tall stone scribed with runes that stands in the middle of this 10-foot high cave. Nearby, a chute with carved footholds leads behind. So now, unlike how the other place, it was an overlook. In this section, it is a wall.
Okay, so there's like a wall here.
Yeah, so you have to go through the foothold to see everything below, but I'm not going to put a wall there.
Okay. Can I just get like a cursory glance at the runestone?
Yeah, of course. Are you saying like you want me to give you a better description of it, or?
Just if there's anything else I can glean from like examining it as we pass. If not, that's okay.
Yeah. So it is like the other one, written all in Dwarvish, and it seems to be telling a story. This one looks to be like telling a story of vision and leadership found among the great predator birds of Icewind Dale, aka the griffins.
Oh, look, over here, it's showing one of the griffins doing a successful surgery. This might be really helpful to us.
The other runestone was like you add a dice to combat, right?
Yes, this runestone gives you a wisdom check or charisma check at a dice. The other one does give you
I'm gonna have
to
to
give you
meditate at this later.
the combat, but yeah, both are very strong. And in the book, it does not. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, it does not say that you cannot gain a die from each one. It just says that you can only gain one die from each runestone every 10 days.
Okay, I'm gonna have to get one of these before I leave because medicine is a wisdom check.
Yeah, and you have it for 24 hours once you leave.
Cool.
All right. So, go through the little split thing, and we are into the Griffin's chamber. Caw-caw! Caw-caw, Griffin! Caw-caw!
Rosemary is equally excited to see the griffins as she was the big cat.
Caw-caw! Rosemary goes into a chamber with 3 massive griffins that stand in their nests. They all raise their head up as you approach.
Those are big birds.
There's like babies.
They are looking at you.
Levi whispers in Delnadra's ear and he says, "Are they really considered birds if they have 4 legs?
Yeah, why not?
Have you seen a bird with 4 legs?
I point at one of the griffins.
But is that a bird? Do they
Why
lay
not?
eggs?
They have eggs?
They have nests.
They do have eggs, yes.
There you go. They're birds, or they're reptiles, but probably birds.
They could be a breed of platypi.
Yeah.
Okay, very side off topic. I saw a post today that was like, you right now you have to decide whether every Pokemon is a dog or a lizard. And when you said they could be reptiles, it just reminded me of that.
Well, I mean, they've got to be
Dog or
mostly
lizard?
lizards because they lay eggs canonically.
Why
That's
dogs?
true.
So,
Feathered
Every
lizard.
Pokemon is a lizard.
Why
Confirmed.
dogs? Yeah.
But like, what about Lillipup? That's definitely a dog.
No, it's
Yeah, but it lays an egg.
It's a lizard dog.
it's just a furred lizard.
Yeah.
It's a furry lizard.
They're all
You
so
make a good
Pokemon
point.
are dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lillipup actually just has very fine feathers.
Yeah.
The way like the dinosaurs.
There you
From
go.
a distance, it looks like fur, but
It's actually feathers. It's actually scaled feathers too.
it has quills.
Yeah, so the griffins kind of look up and they are eyeing
They're not
you.
going to eat us, are they?
So these
Rosemary? Rosemary, are these going to eat us? Do they eat
Eat
people?
they can. Yes.
Like,
Who
well, they
said
did.
that?
They did kill a kid in Wormdom Crag, so be careful.
No, they did not kill, they attacked. And then subsequently developed a taste for human flesh.
Okay, but I'm not a kid, so am I okay? Or
Yeah, you're fine.
You're just a bit harder to eat.
Rosemary's like, yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, no worries. So this 15-foot
Eldridge
high,
holding a spray bottle in one shaky hand?
this 15
Back.
Get back. I would not spray them preemptively.
Oh, it's frozen.
So this
Rosemary, meanwhile, has her arms wide open, is like, babies, who are the babies?
You're gonna get yourself killed by thinking that all animals are innocent.
I know they're not all innocent, just these ones are babies.
These are they're giants. This is not
Rosemary,
the baby.
one of those tourists who gets like gored by one of the bison at Yellowstone because they're like, I'm gonna go pet it.
Exactly.
I imagine bison aren't already domesticated, though, which these ones technically are.
Technically, they're hunting animals, so there's a different type of domestication going on.
That's fair.
So, this 15-foot high cave contains 4 griffin nests, 3 clustered in the middle of the cave and 1 to the north. And that is where Rahi is. You can kind of see a little bit of him. And he's speaking very quietly to a small baby griffin. The northernmost nest contains a full-grown griffin who is sound asleep. The wind stirs the sleeping griffin's feather as it enters through a wide opening in the north wall, beyond which you can see the mountain peaks and the storm clouds. Sitting on the edge of this opening is a Goliath who is talking gently to the griffin youngling that leans against her. As you come down the foothold, you hear Rahi call out, "Come no closer," warns the Goliath. "This youngling is afraid to fly, and his mother is trying to get some rest. Oh, and those three over there are hungry as shit."
Is there any way we
Okay.
can help?
Walk very slowly. Don't turn your backs on them, and come on over here.
All right, I will walk very slowly, keeping my back to the wall.
Uh,
I'm not sure
I
I
think
was thinking my back to them. Wait, no.
No, keeping my back to the wall.
Levi, I think, does the side shuffle where his back never leaves the wall.
There you go. Good. A bit rough.
He's just
But
like,
yeah.
he's also like avoiding all eye contact with the griffins, cause fuck birds.
So we've reached a problem. I can't keep my back to all of them.
No, that one up
Right
there is
here.
sleeping.
This one's sleeping.
Right here is
Yeah.
Dell's going past, like right next to this griffin. It's like the scene from Alien. Sigourney Weaver is just like.
And the
Yeah, I'll just
griffin's
hop over
tiny
here.
inner mouth comes out and starts chomping.
Yeah. So as you guys pass the three griffins that are sitting there, kind of they quiet down. They go back and kind of rest their head. The mama griffin picks her eyes up and it's like looking at you, narrowed eyes, but then turns over and sees Rahid's still here, and so she goes back to sleep. And Rahid kind of just is sitting there, and he's like, "How can I help you three? I assume somebody sent you here. You didn't just sneak through our hardened defense system, did you?"
We were just speaking with Kanayaka, and she thought it would be a good idea to speak with you.
Ah, wonderful. How's the well, how's the prick?
He is out hunting. I assume that you are speaking to Art? No.
No.
No, he's probably.
Oh.
No. I would never speak of our chieftain in such a way.
He's
Sorry.
doing just so terribly. He's almost out of tea, and he is just distraught.
That's good. Don't let him know this, but me and my griffins have made a number of trips to Ten Town, and there have been quite a lot of tea sales when I'm there. And I always think, not him. But that's just
If you really wanted to double up on that, what you do is you get a box, you write tea on it, but you fill it with coffee.
That's a good one. That is a really good one. Do you have any coffee on you? I can probably
drank it already.
I can probably just steal some from him. Ooh. Should I put like coffee grounds or made coffee in the box?
Oh,
It might be a little sloshy if it's pre-made coffee.
Oh, it's no problem.
Well, see, yeah, you could
The
just
messier, the better.
just put like coffee beans or whatever in there and just be like, "Hey, I was down in town and I know how much you've been wanting tea, so I brought back some tea." Get his hopes all up, and then when he goes to open it, he's gonna be like, "This isn't tea," and that's all.
I don't know why I'm indulging this, but a frozen block of made coffee might potentially look like a block of solid tea.
Oh,
that's a good one. Yeah, look at that. She knows what she's talking about.
Rosemary, you're kind of devious, you know that?
Very devious.
A little bit sometimes. I'm trying to work on it.
Levi
Anyway.
Levi is just like open mouth looking at Rosemary like,
Sorry.
You would intentionally deceive?
I mean, only when it's harmless and also funny.
Levi just falls to his knees, clutching his pearls.
Oh, goodness. Yes. Okay, let's delete that. Aha, wonderful. I've opened up the entrance to the other cave that I drew. Because there are two caves.
I am a lighthouse.
Oh, crap. I deleted the rest of this wall. Bad. Whee. Whee. I don't know what this is going to do to change anything. Whee. That do any better?
It made it worse.
That made it so much worse.
All of this is now black for me.
I don't know what's happening here because
Like everything is black except for
so
one
little
tiny
has
rectangle right
changed.
here.
I'm too far back to have been affected by the wall, so I'm just like, I don't know what y'all are talking about. Everything's fine.
Now I can see like a little bit further out into my one beam of light.
I don't know what's happening with the map there, but there is something there that there is not. It's not there.
Yes, you mean?
Oh yeah, I'm in like the one little like thing, but yeah, there's like a wall like right here. Oh oh there we go, that's perfect.
You know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna go ahead and delete this whole thing. There we go. We're just gonna open up that side. You can now see that side of the wall.
Just
Sharp
deleted this map. We're
talon.
gonna do this theater of the mind.
Just because I don't.
You know what? Turn off the video. This is an audio only session.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's wonderful. So yeah, there is just one other griffin that was in that little room there that you can see. So where he's just like, yeah,
It's a Super Saiyan griffin.
That's a good idea. I should do that. I mean, well, I have to wait until I get done raising this little bugger. You know, you think
All right,
whenever
guys.
you think whenever you hire on an apprentice, they'd be a bit more helpful in these tasks, but I don't know. Gaman just really isn't doing so well.
Who's your apprentice?
Gaman?
Gaman?
Yeah, he was a guardsman, but he wanted something more in life, and so he had a really good griffin. Sharp Talon has been a vicious creature that he was able to train. I honestly don't know how, but they just something clicked between them.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Every once in a while, you get a lovely connection between man and beast.
exactly. I have to say though, it is not. I'm not liking his recent passion project of this toiling around with this Charlatan. It is just.
Oh, he's the one with the Chardolin. We heard
every
vaguely
night.
about.
Yes. That'd probably be the one thing that me and Harad probably agree on is how annoying that is.
Ooh.
Where did they get the Chardolin?
He found some. Sharp Talon seems to have an eye for it. I mean that damn griffin's just sitting on a cache of it in his little nest. Don't try to touch it. I have made the mistake. And he kind of raises his hand and he sees there's bandages on his arm and some like what looks to be like a pretty big gash from the size of the bandages. His name is apt. It's aptly named Griffin there.
Yeah.
What is it? It's some rock or something? What?
It's supposed to be, we really never know. I've heard some like some stories. There's this one dark elf that talked about his adventures one time he passed through. There was this big thing called like the Crystal Shard way back in the day. But that supposedly caused a bunch of other these things. It's supposed to be a material, super strong, great for weapons, really easy to work with, strong as steel, but it's like a crystal. I don't know enough about anything inorganic. I spent my life caring for these baby birds here.
So
it's
Sharp Talon is just very good at finding it?
Yeah, it glints in the snow.
A Chardolin?
Huh?
A Chardolin?
A Chardolin?
The stuff? It's Chardolin? A Chardolin?
It's just Chardolin, so like maybe like a Chardolin chunk.
Ah, I see.
He's found actually quite a few. Sharp Talon is, I have to say. And he has made a weapon or two out of it. And it does cut very well. I don't have.
Now that I've seen you speak it in a word bubble, I can see that it's spelled very different than what I thought it was.
See me speak it in a word bubble.
Yeah, I thought it was an SH, not a CH.
Yeah. I guess it could be Chardolin. but I liked it being Chardolin. You know what? The beginning of the book did have a big pronunciation text. Let's see what it says. Officially,
I
doing
was
it
just
live.
I was getting confused because see my sister, she knows this spell. It's called a Chardolin Stride, and I was like, that's weird.
I don't know if that's the right. Is that a real spell?
A Chardolin Stride, yes, but that's ASHAR.
So it does say Char, Char. Is that Chardolin or Chardolin?
Could be both.
It's
Could be
Could
either.
be either.
capitalized.
It doesn't matter.
It's capitalized, so
Pronunciation.
it makes me think it's like Chardolin.
Chardolin.
But I've been calling it Chardolin, and so that's what we're gonna go. Says Rahi.
Oh, that's
That
fine.
is
That's
fine.
fine. So I was just I was trying to make connections from my own player knowledge, and I was getting confused. And now that I see it's very different, it makes things a little bit easier.
We are trying to convince Arn that to potentially meet up with Ogalai to discuss a common enemy. And they are also very interested in Chardolin.
Oh, the Duergar, I think.
Yeah. How did you know that?
Well, we Sky Towers, Goliaths have had a couple of incursions. Incursions wouldn't be the right way to put it. We've scuffled with them quite a bit. They're always out finding the stuff. So we've actually enjoyed that Sharp Talon seems to be putting a one up on them. I haven't heard from Gaman very much when it comes to Duergar. I guess he's really into this crystals things. Like he's really, it's really captured his attention. It's just,
So he's really into the crystals, but he doesn't have any opinions on the Duergar?
at this time, no, not that he doesn't really seem to be bothered by him too much.
Does he seem to be unreasonably fixated on the crystals? Like, would you say that they are infecting his mind and causing insanity?
Yeah, I haven't noticed him being insane, except if you consider the fact that he doesn't really sleep very much in the middle of the night, because I don't know why he seems like he has to toil away on his Charlatan every night. He usually goes from about like 12 to 4, and then he sleeps in, so he misses breakfast. It's a big thing.
That for
he's
me
been
does
missing.
kind of fall right around in the ranges of unhealthy obsession.
Yeah, definitely some sort of unhealthy dynamic is going on there.
Yeah, potentially. Like I said, he doesn't really share it with many of us. We don't really want to bother with it. Bone weaponry is great. We make things out of iron just as well as anything. You can always buy things as well. But I will have to say, his new weapons are very sharp.
I mean, they could be a great boon in the upcoming conflict.
Yeah.
Specifically against the Duergar and not anyone else.
Well, I think Arn has kind of let it happen because he thinks that it could be a one-up on the Wormdune Crag army, but, numbers, I think, will end up winning that one.
Yeah, potentially. Ideally, there wouldn't be any fighting between the two, and again, there's the common enemy aspect.
I suppose. That's a bit above my pay grade or my interest. I'm just worried about this little bugger. He just kind of like pushes the little baby griffin a little bit. It is very squirmish and kind of just walks toward the edge and then leans out and goes, ah! And like a squeak or whatever the bird will do and runs back and tries again. Very adorable.
So cute.
Aww. What would happen if you just threw it off the edge?
I don't know. Two things. It would die or it would fly. It's a pretty simple outcome there. Not quite there yet, but come back in a week or two and I think it'd be a bit over. I really do think it needs that little push, but the confidence building of this of griffin rearing is very important. You got to make sure they're confident in their flight skills, and that starts by making the jump on their own.
I will. Can I use my speech of the woods to just like check in with the little guy? Be like, that was a.
Yeah. It is still a baby.
Yeah. I'll just be like, that was a great attempt, little dude. You almost got it. Oh, your mom's gonna be real proud of you when you fly.
Let's roll some insight.
It says beasts can understand your speech,
Right.
but it is a baby, so I don't know how that works into it.
It's like random voices coming from somewhere else. It gets a bit scared, and it runs into Mama's nest. Ah,
It's all right, little dude. You're okay.
ah. Right, he kind of just stands up and he's like, ah. Anyways, what did you come really here to talk to me about?
Well,
That is a great question.
mainly just to kind of check in with the like potential Duragar crisis, see where you stand on that, and we're gearing up to try to convince Arn.
Ah, yeah, I've heard some rumors that you've been trying to curry some favor for your group, and for the
Word travels fast,
Worm
and
Dune
we only got here last
crags.
night.
Yeah, well, Arn did kind of walk around and tell everybody last night to prepare for you to come around. We were supposed to give you a fair shake, but also stay quite skeptical. He's not. He would love any opportunity not to fight with Wormwood Crack, because that is a losing battle. But we'd have to see your evidence. Is it solid? This other enemy? Have you found them on our borders? That would be about all you need, man. You could just plop a Duergar weapon down in the bedroll of Granny. Man, we'd start a war right there.
Well, we know they're very interested in Chardolin,
Hmm.
so that is a potential.
Uh, well, as much as it would be opportune for them to just happen to find out that we have a fairly large stockpile, I don't really like our chances if they really wanted to attack us. We're quite weak as a tribe right now.
Well, all the more reason to align with Wormdom
Hmm.
and fight together as one.
We are physically weak, but not mentally weak. Yeah.
What does that mean?
Our pride will get in the way. We need we need to be sent in the same time as them, but not really fighting with them. You understand what I'm saying? Like each of our
Well,
clans need to collectively agree that they want to fight, and then we're still competing with them for the glory of killing the Duergar. Now that's a way to win over their hearts. Then you beat.
that's all very possible as long as Arn goes to discuss the details.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, then we can have two wins. We can beat the Duergar and beat Wormjune Crag. That would make quite a difference in our lifestyle.
Now, when you say beat, you mean like a moral victory.
Yeah, moral, a couple of punches, you know.
But
But
not like killing each other.
no. Still, even still, unless we somehow got some great power from Duergar, that would change our minds there. We're
Don't like how
still
you said that,
at
but
a bit of you know, I do long-standing grudges. People fight, such as life.
how you two feeling? She'll look back to her, Dell and Levi.
Yeah, Levi, did you cover your chest after you let Rosemary draw on it?
Absolutely.
Oh darn. Right, he's just like, yeah,
The one time Levi's ever worn a shirt.
right.
Yeah, yeah. No, he pulled on his sweater
Sweater.
afterwards,
Not even wearing a shirt. Just a
very
sweater.
gently, like sort of. You know how like when you, I don't know, like when you. I'm trying to describe the best bet I could is like when you get a tattoo and you like put your kind of like space out your shirt over it and then set it down so as not to like drag anything across the area.
Right.
Yeah.
He does it like that in the hope that nothing smears.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, so yeah, no, he's got that covered. And he sort of nods and he says, I mean, friendly rivalry in battle is not necessarily a bad thing. I used to compete with one of my sergeants on the battlefield. It was fun.
Oh, it would be.
But the key is that you still work together.
Well, it would be wonderful to get back out there and feel the warmth of the enemy's blood between my hands and my weapon. Been a number of years, surely since the everlasting winter has set in. We have not been doing much of our regular one-upmanship. Sky Tower
Well, this
shelters.
would be a great chance to reconnect.
It would be. It really would be. I like your reasoning. Should you find some sufficient evidence, I think I would, as our clan's spiritual guider, really just the Griffin Master, but that's enough spiritual guidance for our clan. I think I could help convince them that we should at least eliminate the Duergar first. We won't want them to interfere with our feud in the future.
I think perhaps a mutual win for both clans could perhaps reignite discussions of getting rid of the feud.
Yeah.
Perhaps fighting alongside a former enemy will make them a friend.
What if you bury the hatchet in some Duergar?
That's true.
Perhaps. It's quite interesting proposition. I do like the way that you worded that.
A
Only-
good pun never hurt anybody.
Only you had
Levi does finger guns.
dig the talons to our enemies, but that's fine. It's fine. Bird related puns into the conversation aren't that common. I understand. Yes, well, I suppose you could tell Kanaika, Harad, and Arn himself. I would say yes. I support your approach. I wait to see how it all plans out, of course. But as far as strangers go, I feel like perhaps you have something that will benefit us. At this point in our lives, we really truly cannot throw away goodwill and friendship, as rare as that is.
Levi nods and he says, well, this makes me hopeful, and I thank you for your time. I'm not going to count my griffins till they hatch, though.
Hey.
That's a good one. I like that. Good man. Watch the griffins on your way out. They do like to flash.
Now, is there a ladder in that little trapdoor hole?
Yeah, there's little there's little
Okay, cool.
footholds to go back out. So you have there's the griffins there. Now, of course, you have Sharp Talon, his little area there, and then Rahi's area. Rahi kind of just as you guys begin to walk away, unless you have any further questions, he will kind of coax the baby griffin back out into the ledge, sit with his legs off the ledge, and just kind of like whistle, and the baby griffin will kind of just like snuggle up and next to him and just sit there on the edge, just learning to not fear the height.
Aw.
It's a little heartwarming moment there.
Cute.
Adorable.
So, what time is it, and has Arn returned?
Arn has not returned. It is about, at the time you spent chatting with Kanaika, although it did not happen on session, we will say that it took a little bit extra time when you were sitting there with her as you told them more stories. Excuse me. Of your adventuring. I would say the sun is beginning to set. Actually, no. The sun is set. It is dark. The sun is setting. Go with that. As you are walking away from Rahi and the Griffin, and Arn is yet to return as far as you are aware.
I think Levi, considering that they're going up and then passing through, uh, they're going. I went too far. Walking around the outside of the wall very slowly
Right. At this point,
in respect.
the Griffins are not like they didn't show you the same kind of aggression they did on the way in. They have kind of calmed down. So if you wanted to investigate further in the area, you can attempt to.
Where
I
was the
think
guy with the
Levi.
Charlatan?
That's where Sharp Talon
All
is.
the way around.
Are we going over there?
I think Levi would go back up in the hopes of talking to, uh, going back to talk to Kanayaga one more time.
Okay.
Hi, bird. Nice bird.
Del, do you want to try to stealth past that bird? As you approach, you see that Sharp Talon is currently sleeping.
Well, then, sure. I like stealthing.
So Levi, you're going to continue on to Kanayaka.
Yes.
Okay. And Rosemary, all right, what are you going to do? Go back with Kanayaka?
I kind of like look at Del Nadre as he like sneaks off and is like, sure, this might as well happen. And she's gonna pop up and see if she can meditate with the rock for a little bit, but she is gonna catch Levi's arm if she can.
Yeah.
And just be like, so tonight, whether or not Arn comes back.
And Levi nods and he says, perhaps right now, if Kanayaka can lead us or show us to a private place.
Okay. I want to try. I feel like this stone might help keep my hand steady. And then as soon as that's done, I can be ready. Should we tell Del Naudre?
No, I do not want him to worry.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's go to Del
Uh,
Nadre, who's not worrying then. Sorry, go on, Levi. You said you started with the
Yeah,
map.
Levi's just going to move into this room to leave Rosemary with the runestone.
How
All
long
right.
do I have to meditate with the stone?
1 hour.
Oof.
So you have 1 hour to think. And Del Nadre, roll a 12 for your stealth check.
I'm so stealthy.
So stealthy. Let me
Well,
roll.
would he get advantage since the creature he's trying to sneak past is sleeping?
I was going to roll their perception check as disadvantage, but we can give Del Nadre advantage if you'd rather have that.
Yes. I think so.
I feel like the
I
odds
mean-
might be better unless it has a +8 to perception.
Oh yeah, definitely giving me an advantage on stealth check is a stronger numbers wise, but whatever the DM decides.
We'll give it to you. I mean, you are. I mean, the fact of the matter that you could very
Okay, shabam.
have just prepared for
Better.
it, So Sharp Talon is going to roll just a regular perception here.
Plus 15.
All right, you may proceed, Del Nadre. It has rolled its perception check. It sits there. So in this room, it's a rather oh god, Del Nadre has no. You have no light, do you?
It's very dark in here.
Let me see if I can. There, that should be better. Yeah. I hope.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So fairly simple room. There's just a bedroll right there in the middle. Right behind the bedroll, almost like it's like a bit in the way, but perhaps it's just because he wants to like work in bed. I don't know. There is a workbench. It is a full solid back, and then it has kind of like two little shelves that come out. And on top of it, there's a shard of Chardolin along with some tools that's be used. As you sneak past Sharp Talon, you see that it is currently nesting on at least I don't know, maybe like 15 to 25 pounds of Chardolin. You've only seen some
Damn.
shards, so this is like there's a pretty good like chunk of Chardolin. It's just sitting there in its nest. It does not look very comfortable, but it does look like it's a dragon guarding its hoard.
That's crazy, I say, as I move over to this corner where I'm kind of far away from it.
Okay. So you look at the workbench. It looks fairly simple
Cast Mage Hand.
to do. Okay. And what are you gonna be doing with this mage hand?
I'm going to very carefully be trying to take a single chunk of Chardolin, and I'm going to really, really take my time with this because, the thing's asleep. I'm not on a time crunch. I'm going to really eyeball it and be like, all right.
Now,
It's like Jenga. If I take that one, at the bottom there, it's probably going to knock several over. That one kind of looks like it's sitting on top. It's not holding any other ones up. I don't need a giant chunk of this, so just something that's like, palm sized.
do you want to just take the shard that's just sitting on the workbench?
Yes, that makes a lot more sense. I'm gonna be doing all of this, and then out of the corner of my eye, oh shit, it's really dark in here. I didn't even see that.
Exactly. So yeah, you kind of just pick up the Chardolin that's sitting there on the desk, and do you want to look at the desk any further, or will you just try to get the Chardolin?
Yeah, no, I'll definitely take a look at the desk.
All right, perception or investigation? Are you touching things, or are you just looking at things?
Right now, I'm just gonna do a cursory look. I don't want to like mess with anything, move something from where it's been placed,
Okay.
and I'm just gonna take a investigation.
So
Man,
if you're just doing a look, then you just do because investigation involves touching. Do you want to just perceive?
then apply that to a perception. The difference being subtract 4, so that's a 9.
All right. That's why you want to do investigation. I get it.
Yeah.
A 9. Okay. And what's your passive perception?
My passive perception
Like
is an 11.
11. Okay. All right. You kind of like looking around. It looks like a very messy room. For somebody who's like super, I guess, fixated on this hobby, he's kind of like just leaving his tools all around. Outside of like a couple of like little rocks on the ground, there really isn't anything out of note. That's just kind of like stepping out of your way. And even the not rocks aren't like anything like out of the ordinary. It's just things you have to be aware of as you're kind of walking around, that you don't just like crunch on one of them.
Hmm. All right. Weird. All right, I'll go ahead and take a more involved look. I'm going to start opening up drawers and stuff and
Yeah.
looking underneath.
All right, you can roll your investigation now as you start to really take a look. Nope, before you roll investigation though, do you want to do it stealthily or do you want to do it more focused on making sure you go through everything?
Nah, I want to do it stealthily. I don't want to wake up Sharp Talon and get mauled to death by a griffin who's like, intruder!
Yeah, it's just as Rosemary and Levi are off there, Deldondry just dies. just all right, roll stealth and then roll investigation.
Stealth.
Good.
Investigation.
Fair
Man,
enough.
I cannot roll above a 10.
So, you're going through, you're looking at some tools. You see all the shards of Chardolin around on the workbench. It's kind of like I mentioned earlier, pretty messy. Like he's definitely going to work on these larger shards. Doesn't really care about all the little like leftover pieces of crystals that he's leaving around. And doesn't look like he doesn't look like he has like you've seen workbenches before. You've been in like true workmanship. Gamon is on the early end of his hobby. He's probably making like flint kind of weapons out of this versus actually like what you've heard of people could do with Chardolin is like truly forge it into a death-defying weapon. But outside of that, I mean, you don't find anything like any hidden notes or anything, any hidden agenda. You're opening some drawers. It's a pretty hefty uh workbench. You see some like scraping marks from like when it was moved in, but it looks like there are a little bit deeper scrapes underneath the workbench and off to like a foot of each side of it. But then there is a small scrape as it came through, like on the ground, that you've seen him like drag it through. How he made it through the foothold, we're not going to ask that question. Or the foothold, the little tunnel that it gets into here, we're not going to ask that question. But he does seem to have dragged it in here.
All right. Weird.
Yeah, you just got
Okay.
some deeper indentions off to the side, some rocks on the ground, shards everywhere. Pretty messy little place.
Hmm. Not much to go on, but I mean, nothing that really makes me think that this is a nefarious person doing bad things.
Right.
So I'm going to hit her. Boop, boop. I'm gonna leave.
All right.
Hey, everybody.
While Del Nadre was doing that, I think Levi would go back, obviously into the room where Kanika is was it Rasad?
Harad.
Harad, my bad. Is Harad still in there or has he gone?
Yeah, he's still there. He's still sipping some tea.
Okay.
It has
He would
been
just
about like an hour or so, depending on how long Rosemary takes. And like, yeah, it's been some time though.
yeah. He walks in and he sort of nods to Harad and he looks at Kanika and he says, "Lady Kanika, is there a perhaps a private place where Rosemary and I could retreat
To do what?
to perform a surgery?"
Okay. Right here, I guess. Yeah, doesn't have to be private.
Right here, where?
Right here. I don't know. Where are we?
In your common area?
Yeah, why not?
It doesn't seem too private to me.
Why does it need to be private? Why would I not want to listen? I don't think
You
you could.
wish to listen to me die?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, come on. I haven't had very much entertainment in the last couple of years. You can't, you can't bash a woman for trying to get some screams in her life, right?
And he just sort of rubs his brow and he says, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to find any more privacy except in this cave because everywhere else is a common area.
And he sort of sighs and he looks to Harad and he says, "Are you going to stay as well to witness my death?"
Oh hell no. No. And one, we're gonna pick up all. You're gonna help me pick up the floor, the rugs. Okay, we're gonna put those off into my room, and then you can murder yourself here on the stone floor. And Rosemary, and he kind of just calls off the edge. Rosemary will be responsible for scrubbing you out of the stonework. But I mean, Kanaka's right. This is pretty much the best. But I mean, I guess you could use the guest room, but I don't really want guests to like wonder why there's a big death spot on their ground.
Do you have any sort of linens that we could place on the floor that are
Why would we want to get
perhaps
them?
old or could be thrown away?
Why would we want to get them bloody? We'll just no, just
I also don't want to give a negative impression of Lady Kanika's common area and make it seem like people regularly die on her floors.
you would not be the first person to die here.
That's comforting.
Yeah, I mean it's true. Like you wouldn't. You'd be like the.
Perhaps in the afterlife I'll be with good company then.
It's somewhere between 4 and 7 have died here before you. Kanaka's a little bit easy on the details.
He sort of just like this is in his head. He's like, this is ridiculous.
We've invited a lot of rival rivals. I don't know. Kanayaka's just, she can get pretty angry sometimes. There have been a couple of accidental deaths here. That's all I'm saying. If you want to do it here, this is the private spot right here next to the fire. We can. I don't know much about health and stuff, so like maybe we can like jab some fire in there to stop the bleeding.
And Levi just stands up and he says, "Okay, tell me where you would like me to move these rugs."
Ah, okay, good. And he will, kind of for the next hour, you will help him pick up the rugs and completely clear this base, the floor of his
Basically, yeah.
crochet. Yeah, and they'll just store it in the same room that he came out of to the right.
Sweet. Yeah. Levi will, work with Harad to do that. As Rosemary prepares and Del Nadre loots.
So I imagine Del Nadre's coming back in at some point.
Yeah,
Is that at the tail end of the hour, or is it like
pretty much, yeah. So like as you're getting ready to be finished, Del Nadri's taking his time. He looked through Sharp Talon, but it didn't take too long. So he made his way back. He's probably getting in there with maybe like a couple minutes to spare, but we'll just wrap it up and saying like he's coming in around the same time that you are finishing up.
the meditation? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, did you find anything?
I found this rock, which appears to be a piece of Chardolin.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
The Chardolin is a crystal, not a rock.
I found this rock.
It's a crystal, not a rock. Which
Who's speaking?
Crystals are rocks.
Understandably, yes, from a geologist standpoint, that is the exact same thing. However, it should be stipulated that Chardolin has nothing to do with rocks and is all crystal.
Got it. Gotcha.
Right.
Rosemary, I found this rock.
It's a very cool rock.
There is no rocks involved in the Chardolin. In fact, rocks perhaps could even be just like a questionable occurrence.
Corey, I hear what you're saying. Del Nadre found this rock.
All right, fine. Just saying, there's no rocks. Rocks would be weird. It's Chardolin. It's a crystal. No rocks.
Don't
Crystals
worry,
are rocks,
we completely
Corey.
understand.
I found this semi-transparent rock.
I think a crystal is a mineral, which I guess rocks can be minerals. Are rocks minerals?
It's like how a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle.
I don't think all rocks are minerals, but I think all minerals are rocks.
Geology was definitely
Therefore, it is a
as
rock.
part of my education, but I didn't pay attention. This is a rock.
Carson is a geologist.
Wait, hold on. It's the other way around. Rocks are always minerals, but not all minerals are rocks.
Ah.
Okay. That's why they call it rock and mineral shows.
Are crystals?
I thought they were called rock and roll shows.
So we're going to very different venues.
Yeah.
Rocks are generally made of two or more minerals, whereas a
Carson.
mineral is a naturally occurring substance formed through geological processes that has characteristic chemical composition.
Look at this mineral I found.
Carson is going to be kicking himself after he misses the episode where we dive into the geology.
The geological science of rocks versus minerals versus crystals.
I can just hear him right now just going on a long-winded debate on how rocks are in fact minerals and crystals are minerals, but they are different. Which is what I'm saying. They are different. But go on, Del Nadre. Del Nadre found a rock.
I found this
Very
rock.
cool rock.
It appears to be some Chardolin.
Are you feeling any obsessive tendencies towards this rock?
Ooh.
I'm gonna look real closely at the rock.
Good question. Are you Del Nadre?
Am I feeling?
Roll some roll a wisdom save.
I don't feel particularly drawn to it, but don't touch it, it's mine.
Yeah. That's actually a really good description. You don't necessarily feel really drawn to Chardolin, but you can feel it like like you want to be obsessed with it, and it's not really something
After all, why shouldn't I keep it?
Exactly.
My
Why should
precious.
it not be yours? You found it, and when you find things, they are legally yours.
Okay, gonna have to check back in on that later. Um,
It feels. I could see how someone would get caught up in obsession with this stone, but as a person of powerful mental.
yeah.
The light actually is really cool when you hold it up like this.
Alright, so how about you go see if Arn is back, and then if not, you want to save us a spot in the fight line for dinner?
What's that? Hmm.
Were you too busy looking at the rock?
It's a nice rock.
Do you want
Look,
to
I
put it
don't
in the
want to
bag for a
distract
second?
you. I'm gonna put it into my bag.
Yeah.
Denadri, were there not more rocks back there too?
There were a lot.
Yeah.
There-
There were a lot more rocks back there, huh?
hmm
Hey, Dale.
Yeah.
Uh, you want to go see if Arn and or my best friend whose name I'm forgetting,
Vita?
Bitte, if Arn or Bitte are back?
Yeah. Sure. I'll go check.
All right, and yeah, feel free to like hold us a spot in the meal line.
Okay. Gotcha. Got it. What's up, Levi? Bye. Hey guys, what's up?
And Levi, just as Del Dodger's walking away, you see him like open his mouth and reach out his hand, and then he just closes it.
Oh.
So he's like, I just had to lie to him, and that felt really bad. So let's make this worth it. And you're not going to die today.
Levi gives you a sad smile. And he says,
God.
Rosemary, it's been a pleasure.
It has, but we're not talking like that. All right. Time for business. And she gets down and she starts using her herbalism kit to whip up some herbal painkillers and or anesthetics. Because she is a druid, she knows how to do surgery. So she's getting Levi some painkillers and like an antibacterial, and she'll turn to Kanayaka and be like, "What's the sharpest blade you have?"
She will hold up her blade that she had behind her. It is a very sharp blade.
May I use it?
Yeah. Yes, you may
Thank you.
you may use it. But you must clean it before you bring it back. Because
Of course.
I can't. So. And
I
her eye
imagine
would probably
some
cut herself.
combination. Yeah, don't worry, it'll be clean. I imagine some combination of passing it through the fire to sterilize it and adding the like what it was, antibiotic to it.
Okay. I'm sorry.
We're
I'm
just
sorry,
gonna
guys.
we're doing D&D surgery. You set this up.
I thought it was
She's also gonna cast Goodberry and just give all 10 of them to Levi. Be like, you can take this as an action each turn.
And Levi
Shove them in
nods.
your mouth.
Levi
when you need
nods
to.
and he says, with any luck, I'll just pass out.
That's
And
fair.
my guy's just like, Rosemary, have you eaten today? You've eaten, right? Like you're not gonna do this on an empty stomach.
I've eaten, yes.
Right. You eaten dinner? It's dinner time. We ate breakfast.
It's dinner time.
We didn't serve you any lunch, and you've been here quite a while. Did you eat anything for lunch?
Honestly, I'm a little nervous at the moment. I don't think I'd be able to eat until this is done.
Right. We don't want to faint from lack of energy because it's a pretty significant thing you're about to do. Don't you want to eat first?
What's going on? Is there some text here that I am missing?
No, there's no text. Kanayaka's just asking if you want to eat.
I will have one of the good berries, and I will say, there, I have eaten.
Okay. All right.
Levi reaches into his bag and he digs around for a second, and he seems
Shit.
concerned for a moment until finally his hands alight on what he's looking for, and he pulls out this tiny piece of chocolate that he's been saving for a long time. And he just sort of smiles at Rosemary and he breaks it in half and he hands her a piece of it.
Mm-mm. Rosemary will accept it with honor.
Oh,
And
goodness.
he holds it out and he says, "Cheers to one last meal together."
Oh, God.
Cheers to many more meals together.
And Levi smiles and he just pops the piece of chocolate into his mouth.
Woo!
Rosemary will do the same, and she'll say, please lay down, and I will cast Healing Spirit.
He's going to
What
move sort of away
animal?
from the fire, like a
What
little bit,
animal
so you have room
Levi
to
say that
move.
he's-
So he's going to move to here and he's going to
Okay.
lay down. Hold on.
Okay. What animal would
I-
Levi say that he is connected to? What's his favorite animal?
That's a really good question. Let me think.
While you're thinking,
Maybe like a really cool, like a marlin.
Marlin.
Yeah, like one of the, like a swordfish.
Okay, a spectral swordfish appears. Like directly over you, essentially. Because it is a 5-foot cube, and you need to be inside of its space, and so I can use this being to 7 times restore 1d6 hit points to a creature inside of its space within the next minute.
Okay.
And with that, Rosemary's
Give me
gonna
a
take.
second because I'm pulling up my character sheet.
okay.
And
So while you're doing this, let's do a quick segue to Del Nadre. Del Nadre, what are you doing when you were looking for Arn? Because Arn has yet to appear, and neither has Bitte. Neither of them have arrived.
Well, I asked the guards at the front outside the curtain. They were like, "Nah, they're not here." So I'm gonna walk over to where I'm at this cliff, sit down on the edge of the cliff, and I'm going to attempt some. I mean, specifically, I could say like I'm gonna attempt an Arcana check on this rock, but I'm gonna try to see if this crystal has any magical properties or if anything jumps out at me about
Yeah.
what it could be used for.
Do you want to perhaps try to tap into your Celestar background to see what might be
Sure,
happening?
I've been having some connections with crystals lately. And so I'm gonna attempt to kind of interface with it in the same way that I sort of felt like I did with the Kalashtar like mind crystal that I'm wearing. See if the two of them can like resonate with each other or
Mm-hmm.
anything.
Okay. So you holding the focus of the Kelistar crystal in your hand and holding the Shardolin in the other hand, you kind of like start to almost act like magnets, but they're not attracting yourself to each other. They're forcing themselves away from you. In fact, that the crystal in your left hand, will say that's your Kelistar crystal, is like actively pushing away your right hand. You can't bring them close together. There's something that just doesn't mesh well with these magics. Do you want to kind of like dive deeper into the Shardolin? Could be risky.
I like risk. Yes.
All right. roll me a some kind of mental check.
Wisdom saving throw?
Yeah, another not a saving throw, just a check, just a wisdom check.
Wisdom, not intelligence, or anything. Yeah, okay, fine, wisdom.
You feel like you're losing the battle, so to speak. There's not really a battle, but there's a battle between your crystals, and like you kind of feel your hand like loosen up on your cluster crystal as you just get drawn further and further into the Shardland. The black, slightly transparent crystal kind of like drawing you in until you just kind of like you snap yourself out of it and you're like, what the hell is that? Something does not sit well with you about this Shardland glass crystal.
Mm.
And it does not
Okay,
seem
I don't
to
like
sit
that.
well. It does not seem to sit well with your Kalashtar patron either.
Okay, I don't like that.
Although your knowledge of the Kalashtar is still kind of it's still working on it, but you're not really feeling it. So
I'm gonna pull out my little bundle of sacred cloth that I've got the other 2 cursed items I'm already carrying wrapped up in.
Yep.
And I'm gonna do my best to wrap up the Shardolin in the bundle.
Yep. Almost like as soon as it like leaves your like you're out of sight, out of mind almost, you feel the snap like that. You feel the connection just snap. Like you're no longer obsessed with it. You don't see like you're back to normal where it's like, does it have value? No. Okay. Well then, just a glass. It's just a shiny rock, right? You appreciate what it looks like, but you're not obsessed over it. And it was like a snap decision. So that was you noticed how your focus on it broke.
Okay. That's actually really bad. I should tell Levi and Rosemary about this.
So we'll say you've been out here, you've been focusing on that crystal. How long do you think you spent here? 20, 30 minutes?
Probably.
How long you did this? Okay, let's go with 20 minutes. All right, Levi, Rosemary, 20 minutes on the clock before Del Nodger comes back and busts in.
All right.
How are
Kramer's
you?
my way into the operating theater.
Question: I found a spell from Strixhaven, a curriculum of chaos that is now in my spell app. Am I allowed to use it?
Is it something a druid could use?
Yeah, it's a druid spell.
What does it do? What spell is it?
It's called Wither and Bloom.
Oh. How do you think that would help?
Potentially, I could use it against the Strahd, and also it has a secondary.
Not against the Strahd.
The Slod, and also it has a secondary effect of one creature of my choice in that area can spend and roll one of its unspent hit dice to regain that number of hit points.
Ah.
Which could be useful if I'm trying to kill one thing and also heal my friend.
And it's a what level spell?
It's a 2nd level spell.
2nd level spell. Okay, Wither and Bloom. Here it is. It says say of your choice. Okay. So you basically are just gonna form a little thing and just attack the slot egg.
Strixhaven's such a good book. If anyone decides to run a Strixhaven campaign, you let me know.
I mean, it does say my choice in that area. It doesn't specify that I have to see it, but I imagine I imagine that's probably I'm going to use it once I have my hands on the thing.
Right. Okay. All right. It's pretty good. Fairly good option there. You can use it. Yes.
Okay. Cool. I just wanted to be sure before.
How often do druids have to redo their spell? You could do anything that you know, or anything. That's...
I think I'm supposed to choose them at the beginning of the day, but I didn't actually choose my spells because I wasn't aware that we were going to be in combat today.
Right. No. That's not that aside. But like, you have to do the meditate. Can you do it in a short rest? Does that have to be a long rest, or is it the beginning of the day?
It's preparation casters are during long rest. Outside of having like features, I think there's a wizard feature that lets you
Okay.
change a prepared spell.
So then,
Yeah, so that's up to you of
No,
whether I can just say I had this prepared during the day because I
definitely
didn't prepare my spells today.
you can definitely have it. It would have been something you've been like, this is a potential good use. Not only that, I mean it's a good use otherwise. There's no
Yeah.
reason why you
Freaking
wouldn't.
great spell.
Yeah, there really is no reason why you wouldn't have it.
Okay, and I have my healing spirit up.
All right.
All right.
It's gonna be
Time.
It's gonna be a number of checks here, so I hope you're ready for it.
All right. I am ready to begin. What's my first check?
Yeah. Medicine.
Medicine. All right. Just straight roll.
At this point, yep. Things will not become saving throws until Levi begins to die.
I think.
Levi, do you have like any kind of way to put yourself under, or are you just gonna?
I gave him some anesthetic from my herbalism kit, if that helps.
How strong of an anesthetic is he knocked out, or is he just
I don't know. That's up to you. I just have a herbalism kit in my inventory, but I'm imagining that druids know shit.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Like, no, this is definitely like. Do you think you would have wanted to knock him out fully, or just dull the pain in the beginning so he can kind of help you guide you?
I'll ask him. Do you want to be awake, or do you want me to just knock you out?
He contemplates it for a moment and he says, I think I would just like to go to sleep.
All right. I
think I
will.
would like to. I think it would be easier if I just drifted off.
Okay. I will make him. And I'm assuming that this conversation happened like before I cast my healing spirit, because I would cast that like immediately before the surgery, since it only lasts for a minute.
Yeah.
So I will mix him up something of that strength and kind of lay him down and just say, I will see you when you wake up. And give him a very platonic kiss on the forehead.
Levi just sort of squeezes her hand and then takes the medicine.
All right, we're continuing on with this, guys. Let us do this. All right, Rosemary, make your first check. You were going to be rolling a medicine check.
And I rolled a 12.
Rolled a 12.
It's above a 10.
Not starting off great, but you're doing about average here. You're cut across the stomach, not very clean. You didn't get through the skin on the first cut. You had to cut twice. Levi kind of winces a little bit on that second cut as well, but you have opened up his stomach. We will say it took a little bit extra time, so maybe we're 5 to 10 minutes in your surgery.
Okay, what's the next step?
Now you have to find the slot egg. We're gonna roll.
Do I need to like take any damage or anything, or?
Honestly,
we'll just go with metaphysical.
Yeah, like you're gonna be taking damage out of this, yes.
Yeah.
But rolling for it, you have 53 health. I mean, there's a very good chance you could just like willpower your way through it. I don't really know how.
And I have like the healing spirit up to potentially help with keeping him from bleeding out.
Right now, it's gonna be all Thief of the Mind, and then we'll deal with your actual hit points afterwards.
Sounds good.
Okay. So yeah, investigation with disadvantage, as you stuck your hand in his chest cavity, and you are trying to find it.
Fuck.
You do not find it. 5 minutes have gone by. He is bleeding, not profusely. You only really cut the skin. You had some kind of, I'd say you probably had some kind of salve to help reduce the bleeding.
Probably, yeah.
But it's still not perfect. It's still bleeding a little bit. Roll again with disadvantage.
All right, 1 second. I just want to make sure I don't have a spell for this. I have detect magic. Would that help with this?
Roll detect magic, or show me the text for it. Because technically, yes. I mean, a slod tadpole is.
For the duration, you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic, and you learn its school of magic, if any. Penetrate most barriers, is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt.
I mean, it says it glows, and that's a hard ruling there. Because yes, you would be able to detect it as there, but it says there's two things there. One, it says visible, and you're like, there's blood everywhere in his chest cavity, right? It's not going to be a clean, like, oh, here's everything. Yeah.
Well, you sense the presence,
you
and it can penetrate most barriers. So I don't think a little bit of blood is going to block it if it can be blocked by a foot of stone.
Okay, yeah, you can roll it. It's going to take some time, though. It's going to take time away from you.
Okay, it is 1 action to do detect magic, and my healing spirit temporarily goes away. Because I can't do 2 concentrations at once.
Yep.
I'll use that. Does that help me with my investigation check?
Yes, you can roll it with advantage.
Okay. Motherfucker.
It's not going well. You're at about like 18 minutes in. Your detect magic is still going on, so you can roll it again, but this next roll...
Would Levi's whole body glow with the detect magic?
Oh, that's a good point.
Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, but it's a different school of magic than you, I think.
So, yeah. Because he's got that celestial magic coursing through his veins.
Right.
Yeah.
You probably would glow just as much as the slot egg would glow.
I'm also, at this point, I'm calling out. I'm like, Harad, help me find it.
It would just be like a different, like...
Oh, that motherfucker left the room.
Of magic. Yeah, I would have to say Harad's not there. But Kanayaka would be like, oh, I'm here, let me help you. And she would then just shove her hand into his chest.
Okay. I'm assuming she knows what she's doing.
She's just gonna start...
Does she know what she's doing?
She's gonna start feeling around. And then she mentions, like, I've had my hand in a number of chest cavities before. I would recognize what shouldn't be here.
I love that Levi specifically said he didn't want her to participate.
I'm so sorry. I don't want you to die.
All right, let me find the Goliath here. All right.
I think she just, like, here's the thing about Kanayaka is she doesn't care whether Levi lives or dies. She's more than willing to just pull out his whole stomach.
What the fuck?
She does not do well.
What the actual fuck?
Like, you can add like a couple, maybe like 2 points to it. Actually, probably less because she is blind. Well, she has advantage.
I mean, wisdom isn't based on sight,
right?
She's done this. She said like a dozen times.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff to go on in there. She doesn't really know. Like, she's just shoving her hands around there. All right, so
she just starts pulling out his organs.
So Del Nandre
walks like, this one feels good.
All right, Del Nandre, you walk in. Here's the scene be in front of you. Levi.
Oh God.
Stomach open. All right, chest open, kind of. Rosemary, hands bloodied. Kanayaka, next to Levi, hands in his chest cavity. And they both look up.
What the fuck are you guys doing?
Are you going to help or are you going to yell at me?
We're doing surgery.
There's like a minute of incredulous panic, and then you see like a level of focus in Dell that you've probably never seen before. As like a merchant's son, he's trained in the art of the deal, you know, striking when the iron is hot, and so he just immediately is all hands on deck.
I thought for a second there you were about to say, as a merchant's
son, like, bargain with me.
He is trained in combat medicine.
All right, move. Your hands are too big. Let me try.
All right, Del Nandre, I'll give you a regular investigation roll as you rush in to help.
Rosemary like motions kind of above where it should be, and it's like, it should be here. My hands won't find it.
All right, you find it. It is odd. It's like, it's smooth like most organs, but it's very tough. Like it's like an air-filled sack. Also, it moved when you touched it.
See, either this is his heart or this is...
It's not his heart.
This is the egg.
No, it's not beating like that. You're not...
Squeeze.
You're not really near his heart either. You're very... Well, I guess you are technically because you're in his chest cavity. but you're more like the abdominal cavity, I should say. So not the chest cavity.
I have it.
Okay, you have it in your hand.
Squeeze and pull. Can I
Now,
help with this?
before you squeeze and pull, okay? No, before you squeeze and pull, do you want to make any precautions? Do you want to check like what it's attached to? Because it is attached to Levi's organs. It's not just free floating around in here. It's an ectopic pregnancy.
How deep am I in Levi? Like, am I up to the wrist, the forearm, the elbow?
Mid forearm.
Mid forearm.
Not quite elbow yet, but definitely way more than wrist.
All right, I'm just gonna kind of like Rosemary. I'm about here and like tap where the back of my hand would be on Levi's chest. What is this?
Do I know? I mean, I'm assuming I know. I have like general medical knowledge.
Roll me some medicine. You're
Okay.
you're a bit freaking out. You got to roll. It's gonna take some rolls. Ooh, very nice, very nice. All right.
Now I can roll a number.
So, Levi, you are a celestial mixed with a human, right? Please tell me you're a human.
Yes.
Okay, good, wonderful. Because that would be that would be. I don't know what we would do if we'd be like, oh yeah, no, I'm an elf anatomy over here. All right,
I'm actually
so
a
that's why he tells people
cheetah.
he's human.
So likelihood is because he has some effects by stomach or by like drinking and like some things have upset him. It could either be attached to his liver, his stomach, or both, or maybe kidneys, or definitely very possible it's jammed up in his intestines. So you got stomach, liver, kidneys, intestine. Go with those four options.
I think now might be a good time for Wither and Bloom, especially if now I know where the thing is.
Yeah, you can like kind of follow Del Nadra's hands in there and cup it right in your hand.
Okay, I'm gonna reach in, like, so both of us have a hand on it. And I look over at Kanayaka, I'm like, okay, so we kill this thing as fast as possible, yes?
Yeah, you probably should have already killed it by now. It says.
Alright, I'm going to cast...
They do, I have heard they react to like, like I mentioned earlier, like when air touches them, but they're aware. They're probably, it's probably getting ready to burst now that we've already touched it.
Alright.
So on 3?
Yeah, on 3. 1, 2, 3, and I cast Wither and Bloom, and I squeeze as hard as I physically can.
Alright.
And so it needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Alright. So, it does. It is a magical creature. It does have, what do you want to call it? Some extra saves here. Not going to be an easy throw. Do you want... You don't have to roll anything, do you?
It rolls a Constitution saving throw against my DC, and then
okay. I was wondering,
believe I can.
Like you couldn't put your runestone to help this at all.
Not unless I can use it to lower its save. I could probably use it on the squeeze if that will work.
No, did you? Well, you did. You did meditate the other one, didn't you?
I meditated on both.
Okay, so let's see. Strength check or weapon attack roll. So your fists are not considered a weapon for a druid. So maybe.
So would it be a strength check to pull it out?
I don't know. I don't see how either of them are going to really play into it here, unless like you use it for like your medicine check or something. Guidance would have helped.
Yeah, but I kept casting concentration spells, so true. I couldn't use guidance.
That's true. All right, so okay, let's roll its Constitution saving throw. It has a regular 10. It's con save, correct?
It's a con save, and it didn't beat a 14.
1d10 or 1d20. It's gonna have advantage. So, ooh,
nice. Nice.
Does not save. So it takes full damage.
So that's 9 necrotic damage.
Yes. You feel the egg even before you begin to squeeze it burst. And something wiggles through your fingers. Rosemary.
Squeeze. I try to grab it.
Is your detect
also
magic
still-
still up?
Yes.
So-
Okay, so it's
Maybe.
So
glowing.
I've still got my hand in there as well, and
Yeah. All right. Rosemary,
as a
roll me a
dexterous reaction.
Yeah, Rosemary, roll me a dex saving throw with disadvantage. Del Nadre, as soon as she rolls, you can roll right after, because you're kind of reacting to her. She fails. She does not catch the
Am
tadpole.
I also with disadvantage?
No, but you don't get advantage. You just have regular.
Okay,
She had
well,
disadvantage because it was
as-
kind of like it caught her by surprise. You are now actively kind of trying to help.
Okay, so straight roll, unless as a rogue I can take a cunning action to steady aim, which is to give myself advantage on my next attack roll. But can I like enter that headspace of like that focus on everything to give myself advantage on this?
My one thing here will be, and I made a stipulation with Rosemary. Does it say your next weapon attack roll?
It just says on your next attack roll. So
Then
here
I will
it is.
allow it to be used. So Rosemary the rune stone specifically said weapon attack
Your
roll.
next weapon attack.
Yeah, this does not. It is a creature. There is a slad tadpole now loose in Levi's abdominal cavity.
All right, so dexterity save with advantage. 18.
All right. Now here it comes. Will it slip out of your grasp?
Please, 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 please.
I don't know. Ooh, it's... Does size give any... I should know this, but does a tiny give any benefit when it comes to that?
I think that only applies to AC.
I think so. Not Tony size, tiny size. Want to make sure here. A specific benefit, higher AC.
Both are the same thing if you're talking about Tony Stark.
What?
Yeah, I think the
Tony Stark.
size thing is typically like
It's just AC.
important, like with squeezing, like stuff that you can fit through.
Right. So it can fit through your hands. All right. Well, let's see. If it beats you, it's gone in Levi's chest cavity. Oh no.
Holy fuck.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Oh my god, we killed Levi.
Oh no. And you haven't killed Levi yet. There's just a slod tadpole.
In his fucking chest cavity.
Yeah.
About to start chomping.
Yeah. So it does actually. Yes. Gonna bite. So up to this point, Levi, I would say the amount of movement, some of the failed rolls we've had, you're bleeding pretty profusely. We're gonna knock your health down by half. Okay.
He got one of his hit dice back because
Yeah.
of the
Roll your hit dice, but we're gonna knock your health by
Okay.
half. And now bring your hit dice back. You still don't have healing spirit up, right, Rosemary?
I mean, I did until I'd cast detect magic, so I imagine I was keeping his health up until then.
Right, but your detect magic is going right now. So like actively right now.
Actively right now, detect magic is going.
Okay, so you've taken half and then add 9. All right.
All right, so
It'll
let's
take
see.
2 bites on you.
53, half of 53 would be 27. Do you want 27 or 26?
27.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I'm not
And then
gonna.
plus
It's just
9,
gonna
I'm at
automatically
36.
hit you from within your
Yep,
chest.
that's fine.
So 1d4 plus 2, and 1d4 plus 2. All right, so you take 7 more damage. Okay,
Okay.
Rosemary, Del Nadri, what we got going on? Kanayka's just kind of sitting here, and she's just like, "Woo, exciting!" I can tell y'all are having a tough time with this.
I mean, I'm just gonna. I mean, my goal is to try and grab this thing again, but you tell me what check I need to make for that.
That's a good question. Do you want to try to find it in such a way that you have like you're trying to just run after it and just hope that you grab it, or are you gonna try to like using like sequester it into a corner so it's easier for you to grab it? Are you gonna take planning, or is it just more of like a rushing? This is a.
Can I?
Go on.
I mean, I still have detect magic up. Can I use that to help him?
For
where
sure.
it is.
For sure.
I am
yes.
absolutely telling him exactly where it is.
It's just a very tiny tadpole swimming around in blood. it has very good movement right now. So all I'm trying to kind of bring out there.
I mean, I'm just going to be maximizing like I'm in full the bullet time mode right now. I mean, if I can again take a steady aim and just try to grab that shit.
Could you imagine how
I'm just
disgusting this feels in your
acting.
hands?
Okay, so Rosemary, do you want to assist him or do you want to give your own try?
I am assisting him. He is way more dexterous than I am.
All right, Delnadra, you have advantage. Does stunning action give you advantage?
The steady aim would be give you advantage on an attack.
So I'll give you then plus Rosemary. What is your wisdom?
My wisdom is a +4.
Okay, you get an additional +4 for this next roll.
All right, what am I rolling?
Dexterity saving throw. Same thing you did before.
Okay,
Actually,
so
not a saving throw. Sorry, just a dex save or just a dex check. So yeah, so I guess you could use sleight of hand.
yeah, I mean, if I can use sleight of hand, I'll do that.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay, so
And I'm assisting by telling him exactly where it is.
Right. So you're giving your modifier to him since he already has advantage.
Yeah.
So the slad took damage. He took the 9 damage. Just did not kill it. That's where this whole thing is becoming an issue.
So let's see if that worked.
So
Do I know at all if it like
it bit through part of
roughly-
his intestine, I should say that.
Okay.
Like just chomped his lower intestine in half.
Ooh, 26.
26.
Yeah, that's my
That-
my sleight of hand with a +4
that
bonus.
gets it.
That's-
Ooh, gosh, I want okay, roll me an athletics check to see if you can squeeze it once you got it in its hand, or if it's gonna slip right out of you. And
I'll roll the athletics check, but I just want to say, like, if I can grab it, I'm just yanking this thing out and I'm just chucking it against the wall.
fair enough.
Is my goal here.
All right, let's do that then. Yeah, okay. So you got it in your hand.
Straight athletics.
Straight athletics to throw it out, not try to kill it, just to get it out of there. All right, that's great.
Oh, that's actually really
That's a
good
very
for me.
good roll.
I was like, I'm not great at athletics.
Yeah, I was afraid it wasn't gonna get it, but yeah, it works.
Worried.
All right, you throw that slod out. It flies through the air. Timothy, the crag cat, jumps up and chomps it down.
Oh God, no.
I'm casting a very quick cure wounds on Levi's to fix his fucking intestine.
All right, so magical. You
Wait.
have to do both. You're gonna have to do
Wait,
surgery.
it just ate a live slot at tadpole.
Yeah, but that's not like it killed the slot tadpole.
It
Okay,
chewed it
like,
up. It didn't just
Okay, it
swallow it
killed it.
whole.
Okay.
It didn't just and even if it did just swallow it whole, the slod is now not just in your chest cavity; it's in his stomach acids. It will die.
Okay.
The problem wasn't
Okay.
that you ate a slot egg.
No,
If
no,
you
no.
had
I
ate
know.
a
I was
slot
just
egg,
like,
I don't
oh,
think you
fuck.
would have had any issue with there. No. The problem was that you
Slot
were...
eggs are actually a rare delicacy in
Yeah,
some of the.
I would say probably, yeah.
Like eating that really poisonous, like, lionfish.
Yeah. Only if we do it right will you be able to eat the slot egg without getting impregnated with the slot egg. All right, so Slod is defeated. Wow, I did not expect that to happen. Okay, but you still have
Okay.
the issue of Levi bleeding out. So he has, and we'll just do a quick cursory. This isn't over the table. This is not what Rosemary knows. One, you have moved 3 different pairs of hands through his chest cavity, correct? Kanayaka, Dalnaji, Rosemary, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. It went for freedom for a little bit, probably about 2 minutes or so, running around. It bit twice. It bit through 2 sections of the lower intestine. Okay. And you know this because you saw it bite through the lower intestine as you felt that. Okay, Rosemary? So you have a couple of issues here. 1, Levi is bleeding. He's bleeding. 2, you have 2 parts of the lower intestine to bring back together. 3, magical healing helps. It does not stop. Can't cure the gaps in the intestine, right? So you can keep him alive, but he will slowly still die.
I am Rosemary Bone Crusher. I am a druid from Kuldahar. I know how to do surgery. I am casting Healing Spirit again.
Okay.
So every turn he
Think
gets
of that
1d6 hit points to keep him alive, and I yell and I'm like, get me some sinew, get me thread. Like, I am fixing this.
Herod just throws like some thread.
Yeah, I imagine some sort of natural animal like sinew that is natural and fine, and she is like giving it a once over with the antibiotic, and she is doing surgery. She is sewing him up.
All right. Okay. Rosemary, how well are you good at like sewing?
I imagine Rosemary is very good at surgery. Rosemary has been learning how to heal since basically she could walk.
Right.
She knows the medical aspects. She is.
I'm not doubting that, Rosemary, but this is a bit different, right? Because you got like this is like the level of like somebody sewing the skin back on like grapes.
I mean, she knows how to do stitches. It's just stitches. It's a medical procedure.
It's not just stitches.
My needlework is pretty good.
All right. Fair enough. Roll your whatever you think would be a good roll. Sleight of hand,
Medicine.
acrobatics, medicine. With
Just straight roll.
roll me an insight to see how frazzled you are. Because yeah, it's still your friend though, right? You know medicine, but this could be your friend's life that you're dealing with. Okay, you're good to go. Just a straight roll then. Nothing else is getting in your mind.
This is Rosemary's like deal. Like the slot was freaky. Now that the slot is gone, this is her deal.
Exactly. This is you. This is your chance to not kill.
So, regular medicine check or medicine with advantage?
Regular medicine check.
Regular medicine.
Now that
check.
I have a chance to do things without, like,
and
I'm
I can. It's
super
a
immediately involved. I'm gonna cast dancing lights to try and give her some more light.
Good.
Okay.
Excellent. All right.
And, I'm also. Can I use my runestone to add to this?
Yes, you can.
Okay. What's the runestone dice?
1d6.
1d6.
All right.
All right. So that's a 15.
You found one section of the lower intestine. You also found another section of the lower intestine. You've also found the third section of the lower intestine. You have not found the fourth section of the lower intestine.
So, like, my over-the-table knowledge, I know that, like, during gut surgery, they literally just, like, take it out and hang it up and, like, put it back in and it sorts itself out. So I'm imagining as long as I connect, like, the inner pieces to the outer pieces, it'll be fine.
Right, yeah. So are you going to do that in his abdominal cavity, or are you going to pull out his intestine here on the floor? Because, like, how long is the human intestine again?
Corey's just like, we're gonna finish this series of skill checks in Surgeon Simulator. Go.
All right.
15 feet.
It's 15 feet.
This is the dumbest thing I have ever done. She is literally just going to start putting it, like, around her neck like a boa to just, like, make herself into a hook.
I'm just gonna I'll just hold out my arms.
Okay, I will use Del Nadre's arms.
That's a bit better than around your neck. All right, yeah. So it takes quite a bit. Levi, we're gonna take some damage here, and then you can get some healing.
My healing spirit is still healing him for 1d6 every round.
1d6 every round. So he's gonna take 1d12.
Good thing we have this nice sterile environment.
12.
Right next to this campfire.
12.
In a room covered in cat hair.
And then Rosemary, roll 1d6 4 times, or 4d6. We'll compare the results and just see how much health he's lost. Right, so... Oh, god damn it.
So 29 minus 13.
Yep. So you lose 16 health.
Okay.
Are you
losing 16 health.
So you should be, what, 13? Or are you at 29 now?
I'm at 13.
All right, Rosemary. 4 medicine checks as you sew the 4 different parts of...
Alright, I'm just gonna roll twice at advantage, and that'll be the 4.
Fair enough. Wow. Doing pretty good. All right. Okay. We're going to roll through 2 more. Because you did so well in your rolls. So, 1d12. No, sorry, not your rolls.
Oh,
Not
sorry.
And then roll me
I'm gonna
3d6 for your healing. Sorry, go on,
I
Del
cast the mage hand,
Okay.
which is not a concentration spell, so I can maintain the dancing lights, and I use it to dab Rosemary's forehead.
Thank you.
All right.
I pick up a little cloth and
Levi,
The
you
bad
lose,
news is
you
after
lose
these
7
3,
more.
my healing spirit is gone because it can only heal 7 times.
Oh no. So like you're done now? Well, it's okay.
I still
'cause
have 3 first level spells that I can use to do cure wounds, but those will take me an action each time.
All right. So he may die for a little bit, but it sounds like he can come back.
Okay,
may
so I'm
die
at.
for a little bit.
You're
Let's see. So
you
was that
take 7, so you
19
should be
minus
at
12?
yeah. So 7 less
Okay.
health. So you're at what? 5,
Yep.
6.
6.
6. All right. Okay. So now you have to put everything back in. Do you want to check for any other issues, or do you want to just solo up and hope?
I imagine I'm checking to make sure I'm not leaving anything foreign inside of him.
A little bit, making to see, because like you found the egg and it was attached to. We'll just say it was attached to his intestine, because that's what he bit, right? So you saw the bite marks and you pulled the intestines out. Sure, no problem there, but you got to make sure, like, was the egg anywhere else? Was there any kind of like bore hole that it came through? Because it came through his arm into his chest, right, Levi? Or did you get a slight?
Yeah, so the slug sort of pierced him in the arm, and the microscopic egg at that time made its way through his bloodstream and then attached itself to his intestines.
Right. So ultimately, he's been feeling chest pain. There could be some minor bleeding or scarring. You could but I should say this: any risk of like finding anything else is just going to make his recovery easier, but could potentially harm him now. So it's like, do you want to have to go back in there later? Which could be beneficial to do it later in a different area where you have a bit more support.
Yeah, I mean, doing it in a sterile environment might be a better solution.
Okay.
With like an extra healer on hand.
Right. All right, that's fine.
So I mean, unless there's anything that is particularly glaring, and I have the dancing lights, so I have like a little bit of a better view.
Give me a good perception check to see as you do a quick glance through the chest and
check.
see
Let's
if you can find any, or would you like to touch around with investigation?
Well, I already rolled, so.
Fair, it's fair. Donadre, we'll give you a chance. Do you want to risk putting your hand back in there, or do you want to trust Rosemary's eye that you've caught everything?
I mean, he could do a perception without like putting his hand in, right?
Oh, he can definitely do
Do
a
I
perception.
still have handfuls of intestines right now?
No, they've already been stuffed back in.
I mean, I'll take a look. I'm going to assume that introducing my hand back into Levi's delicate ecosystem would be worse than anything at this point. So, I mean, I'll just.
All right. Yeah, roll me investigation. Sorry, no, roll me perception.
Okay. I was like, I'll take it, but
It's like that seems counterintuitive to not wanting to stick a hand in.
All right.
God damn it.
As far as both of y'all are aware or can see, you don't think there's any more issues here.
great.
All right.
Could you close him up? He's kind of bleeding everywhere.
Yeah, I know. All right.
That's bad, right? We don't want.
Give me that bit. Okay,
All
we're going.
right,
We're good. We're good. All right, we're closing him up.
2 more medicine checks, and then we'll take the final
2 more
health
medicine
count.
checks.
Yep. Okay. Okay. A little bit kind of sloppy on the sew up, I have to say. Not perfect, not bad. Okay. Just not, it's a terrible environment to work in. All right.
Oh no, his beautiful abs.
Okay. So, he takes 10 damage. He falls into death.
Should I make a death save?
Yes, make a death save. Oh, this will be
Rosemary,
before
should his heart be stopped?
This will be the next time before the 5. All right. So he just fails his death save, right? I'm pretty sure that's a failure.
Yep.
That's a failure.
Yeah.
All right, Rosemary.
Definitely.
I am putting a Cure Wounds into him.
Okay. Cure wounds. Roll.
8 plus my spellcasting ability modifier, so 8 plus 6. Or not, D8 plus 6.
All right.
8 plus 6!
Yeah. Nice.
You manifested an 8.
All right, and then it takes 5 off of that, so 8 plus 1 is 9. So go back up to 9 health.
Okay.
Okay.
We're not losing him.
Okay. Okay, here we go. This is the end. We're gonna leave it up to luck. Did you get everything from inside? Now, question: did you, when you had the egg in there, and you withered and bloomed it, and it kind of shriveled a little bit, did you remove the egg, Rosemary?
Yes. I wouldn't have left like that foreign
Right, you
object
did
in
mention
there, and I
earlier you had
imagine
foreign
that
objects.
was in my hand when the thing escaped, so I would have pulled that out.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Now, when you pulled it out, did you just pull it, or did you remove it from his chest?
I removed it, I think.
Okay. All right. I'll assume you just kind of moved your fingers to the top and kind of squished it and pulled it off. Fair enough. Here we go. A 1d3. If it's odd, he's in the clear.
How the fuck?
Okay, so
Like, what does that even mean?
all right, it doesn't mean that he's dying. I'm not gonna kill Levi here.
He's got lingering issues.
It just means that Levi is gonna have 2 levels of exhaustion for a little bit.
Oh, that's nothing.
It's gonna
2
take
levels of exhaustion?
Yeah, so at this point,
Damn, hold on.
let's see, what does exhaustion do to you?
Let me do it. I got it
think
pulled up.
it's.
I never really bothered with
Advantage on
exhaustion.
skill checks.
No,
I know
it's-
it's
At
disadvantage on
level
skill
2, your
checks.
speed is halved, and you have disadvantage
what's
on
the
ability
third
checks.
level? Is the third
Ability
level half
checks,
health?
yeah.
Half health is 4th level of exhaustion.
Okay, what's the third level?
Disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws.
That's the one he has. Levi, you're gonna be kind of a hindrance to the group until you kind of like overcome this chest surgery.
Okay. Let me write that down. I'm just gonna write it in my bio.
So like I don't really play too much with exhaustion. So this is gonna become interesting. It's not gonna follow the same rules where it's like one day's rest gets it to you. I'm gonna say you need 3 weeks of rest.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Each week is going to knock you down 1 level of exhaustion. Now, if you rage, I will allow you to not be exhausted, but you will take damage at the end of it. Does that sound fair?
Makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
It seems like pretty fair. Like you can overcome your difficulties in combat should you need to fight for your life. But you did just have some janky ass chest surgery.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Guys.
I'm so sorry. I was like, oh my god, we killed Levi.
Did we
Honestly,
not come up here
to tell you the
like
truth-
go to the Yetis who had like some magical way of getting rid of this?
We didn't know that.
You know, well,
Levi was just like Levi at this point. He was like, I can't be that. Number one, I can't be the reason that my friends get hurt. Number two, I can't be the reason that this whole clan of Goliaths gets hurt.
Vite leaves for less than a day, and this is what happens.
Dale's just sitting here like, you don't need to make all those marks on him. They're just gonna wash off while we go meet those Yetis. Like, we'll keep it in the back of our mind if we can't find him in time, but we're on our way. And they're like,
Soon as,
yeah,
like-
that's right. Stabs Levi.
As soon as like Levi is stabilized, Rosemary's gonna reach over and like put a hand on Dell's arm, and it's like just completely bloodied, and she's like, "I'm so sorry. He didn't want you to worry.
That's.
I
I'm
thought I
not
could
gonna say okay, but
like it's definitely not okay, and I'm really sorry, and I thought I could handle it, and I'm sorry."
I'm gonna take both of her bloody hands in my bloody hands and just like, I understand. It's fine. It's fine. Also, those crystals are definitely mind controlling people.
Yeah. Okay.
Just walk back in with the thought you had walking in there, like, oh hey, by the way, yeah.
Like, are you okay? You were a little weirded out by the the
So
crystals.
the surgery took a lot of time, and the after part of it as well. So it's definitely like late evening, if not middle of the night. Roll me perception, everybody, because Timothy,
Perception?
his head just all of a sudden just wheels up, and he is staring daggers at the tunnel through the rune
It was a
stone.
16 and then it went.
Rosemary, you hear like some like tink, 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 and then like a very faint like like a dragging sound.
I think that's our friend with the stones that are hypnotizing people. Del, you're sneaky. Do you want to stick your head through that hole and see if you can piece it
Wait.
No, it can't be. It can't be him because if he's back, Bite should be back, right? They went together. All right, I'm gonna go look.
And that is where we're gonna end our session.
Oh.
Perfect timing, y'all. Wonderful session. I really appreciate. Ben, you still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, wonderful. Sorry, you messaged me your.
That was like so stressful. My hands were shaking the entire time.
That I did not. Okay, one. What? Y'all, I did not expect us to go through open abdominal surgery. Abdominal. Abdominal surgery.
No, stop.
You're adding abominable to the middle of abdominal.
Abominable. Freaking Joey from Friends meme. All right, now say it with me. Dom, abdominable.
Deep blue.
Wonderful, yeah. I did not expect that with the session to go. Wow.
I honestly, I have to say, I did. This is where I expected things to go from like the first minute. We were doing our introductions, and I was like, "We're gonna do surgery." I can feel it.
I thought I could. I don't. I have nothing else to say. It was a wonderful session. I loved it, y'all. It wasn't what I prepared for, but it was.
So
as
I'm
always.
sorry that we just went completely off the rails. But...
No. It just means that we're gonna have next session will be what I actually prepared for. Which we'll see what's going to happen.
Oh, will it?
But we will start...
Isn't that for us to decide?
We are leaving immediately.
We will have Bite's little side excursion happen before we come back. But he'll be coming back right around this time so that we can bring you all back together and continue on. I don't want him to have to sit off to the side. But thank everybody for listening and watching. We are Everybody's a Mimic, a 5th edition actual play podcast playing Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden. I'm your host and dungeon master, Corey, and today I was joined by 3 of our 4 players. First off, we have Blake.
Back alley surgeon, Del Nadre Miracos.
Followed up with Rosemary.
Played by Rachel, and I'm also a back alley surgeon.
I messed that one up.
I'm still shaken up. I don't know what is going on.
And finally, we had our wonderful volunteer, Levi.
Back alley patient and narrow survivor.
I can't believe you survived that.
How many
Wasn't
stars?
Even close.
How many stars?
Levi is gonna wake up.
Yelp?
Levi's gonna wake up incredulous that he survived that.
He's gonna wake up and he's just like, "Oh fuck."
Rosemary was refusing to let this boy die.
I can just imagine, because you're gonna wake up with no pain meds. Rosemary
has pain meds. She can make him pain meds.
You have anesthesia. You know?
I can make both, I am assuming.
Are you a chemist?
It's just a bunch of good berries mashed up with some salt.
Yeah, literally.
Get your sodium up!
So did we level up from that?
Not yet.
No. All right.
Wait a sec. Hold on. You're telling me that wasn't accomplishing an extraordinary feat?
I think it was.
I'll think on
So
it.
it felt like it.
I'll think on it. I will think on it. You did accomplish something that I did not expect to happen, which was to get rid of the slide by just straight up
Brute forcing it, basically.
like let's just like
We could have just done that at level 1.
you listen to this you listen to this woman who basically has like the medical experience of like expects people to solve asthma with an iron lung. And you
The DM is like, all right, I've carefully crafted this trail of clues leading you to the mystical solution. And we're like, and we're going to follow that like 90% of the way there. And then we're going to take matters into our own hands and just chop it out.
The time crunch, guys.
With a
The time
knife.
crunch. I was genuinely worried that we would get like halfway to the Yetis and then it would be like, and Levi starts feeling a sharp pain in his chest.
I mean, you were like, it does say that in the 24 hours from the birth, you were gonna start feeling worse. I was gonna keep the time pretty well, but I wasn't gonna let you like not make it.
Honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised if you didn't let us make it. Because we have no idea how long this negotiation is going to take.
Oh god, it's so true. Oh my god, I love it.
Final session where we're in the speakers meeting, and like right before the end of session, Corey's like, Levi, you feel a rumbly in your tumbly.
All right, everyone. Well, we are Everybody is a Mimic. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. Love you.